to another episode of the playonultra podcast. This is episode 44. Yeah. So Jordan can't make it today. It's just me, Jonathan, and Nathan. So what's up, guys?
Not much. What?
It's raining.
Oh, can't hear anything.
For once, another country's raining and mine isn't.
There's a
How long
rain
has
thread
it
this
been since it
weekend.
got
I can
rain?
go and pretend I'm in England.
It's only been
I
a
don't
couple
know.
of weeks since rain for me.
What about you? Is there a drought or something?
There is a drought here, but the area specifically where I live in is close enough to the ocean that it rains. I don't really know. It's super droughty.
How long has the drought been for?
Many months. Certainly all of 2016.
Shit. So
Yeah.
How are you guys? What have you guys been doing?
Playing Dark Souls. Or Dark Souls 2, should I say.
Yes, you should.
Yeah. In preparation for number 3 coming out. I decided I'm probably going to buy it when it comes out.
I bought it today, actually.
Nice.
And then I'm getting Overwatch at the start of next month.
Ooh.
I'm so excited. Because fucking Blizzard never gave me the bait in the end, so fuck those guys. Yeah, I'm really excited about Overwatch. League of Legends a bit here and there. I've cooled down since I got in Platinum. I've cooled down a bit. I mean, I still play it, but not as religiously as I did before. I think I swear I've been playing another game as well. Nope.
Stardew Valley.
Nah. But that's the thing with Harvest. As much as I love Harvest Moon games, I can't play them for months on end. I'll play the shit out of it for a week and then play it a couple of years down the line again. But yeah, it's been an alright week for games. I play more games this week than I usually do within a week's period.
Actually, I'm surprised. You say you didn't like Dark Souls 1, right?
No, I really didn't.
Which surprised me because it's a hard game and you do
Do you
like
think you'd like it if
challenge.
you revisited it?
Maybe now. Maybe I would. I think the reason I didn't like it last time is because I'm notoriously. I don't like RPGs.
Oh.
But recently, I've been better disposed to them. Like the past couple of RPGs I've played, I've kind of liked. I used to hate them. I used to hate playing them, but now I'm a bit better with them. So that's one reason. But then, yeah. So maybe if I go back to Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 1 rather, then I'd like it. But Dark Souls 3 is coming out on Monday, so why bother? Might as well just play number 3.
Yeah, I have no idea how much. In Dark Souls 2, the first time through the game, there's really nothing significant referring to Dark Souls 1. There's a couple small things on New Game Plus and whatnot, but so I don't know how much in 3 is gonna be from 1 or 2.
Yeah, well, they've introduced a couple of new things from what I've seen. Omnidirectional rolling is one of them.
And the spell system.
Yeah, I like the omnidirectional rolling. I really like that. Because the one problem I did have with Dark Souls 2 is the dodge system felt a bit janky at times. You could only dive in 8 directions, and it felt a bit clunky.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty forgiving. There's a lot of iframes on it.
But this one seems to be a lot more like Bloodborne from what I've seen, and apparently people like
Probably.
Bloodborne.
Yeah. Well, I
Bloodborne,
think because in Dark Souls, one of the big problems with combat is you can put your shield up and you watch and you kind of move a little bit, and the enemy makes a movement and you respawn by attacking or dodging. So essentially, you're waiting for an opening. In Bloodborne, you're moving constantly because you can't block. So you're basically just constantly moving, either attacking or trying to get a different position or whatever. So it's a little more engaging.
Faster pace, right?
Yeah, that's what I hear.
That's what they say.
See, that's the thing problem I've had with my run on Dark Souls 2. I've gone the big great sword shield route.
Yeah.
So although it's fairly easy to take down mobs, it just takes forever.
As soon as you get that first shield with 100% physical damage reduction, it's so easy.
Yeah, like I've
Not
got
so
the
easy, but way easier.
I've got the pursuer shield.
Okay, yeah.
So I just stand there and I block every shot.
Yeah.
And then but it takes time. Like it fucking so much time because you have to wait for an opening, hit once, and then carry on blocking.
In Dark Souls, I have a weird habit of kind of changing my weapons. Like I don't use one loadout the entire way through. I think my favorite thing in Dark Souls 2, I had a lot of fun doing this weird build where I have a shield which gives me a stamina regeneration, and I usually just wear it on my back, and I two-hand a polearm for most of the time. And if I really have to, I can pull out the shield and go shield on one hand the polearm.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, that's one thing I like about Dark Souls is there's not really like this is the best build, you should go with this. It's kind of just like play whatever feels good to you.
That's what I've been told, because a couple of my friends are savants when it comes to Dark Souls. One of my friends is, he was telling me the other day, he played Dark Souls 1, level 1. He just finished the game at level 1. I was like, Jesus, wow. I can barely do it at level 100. Like,
did he do it blindfolded, though?
No, he started off, what's the deprived, is it called?
Yeah.
He started off deprived and then just didn't level up. And he finished the game.
So the reason why I stopped playing Demon Souls is because when you die, you turn into a very weak version of yourself, and you have to get back your equipment where you died.
All your equipment too?
So is there some sort of penalty like that in Dark Souls?
So in Dark
Souls 2, you collect souls, and if you die, then you drop your souls where you die. But if you die again before picking up your souls, they're gone forever.
And your souls are used to buy items and to level up.
I just lost 150,000 souls before I came on this podcast.
And you have to cash in your souls at a bonfire, right?
In Dark Souls 2, it's a specific NPC. It's like Demon Souls.
There's one bonfire in Dark Souls 2 called the Farfire. That's the only bonfire that has the NPC to level up.
The Emerald Herald.
Yeah,
is that the same in Dark Souls 1?
Nope, Dark Souls 1, you can level up at any bonfire.
Right.
But in Dark Souls 2, you can teleport between bonfires the entire game. And in Dark Souls 1, you don't get that ability for like 66% of the way through the game.
Oh my fucking god. It's not
as bad. It's a little bad, but it's not as bad because the world layout's a lot tighter in Dark Souls 1.
Oh, okay. Because I was talking to my friend yesterday and he was like, Dark Souls 1 is way harder than Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
Like, it's unimaginably harder.
I don't know that I'd go that far, but it's definitely a little tricky.
I mean, I think he may have been putting it in my terms though, because I've been struggling quite a lot on Dark Souls 2. It's because I've been pounded with this easy gaming for so long that I now come, because I used to only play hard game. Like I used to play Contra and shit on the SNES when I was younger, but then recently I've played tons of easy games because that's all AAA have been giving me.
How did you like the Royal Rat Authority or the Royal Rat Vanguard, the giant rat? Did you fight the giant rat? You must have by now.
I fought a boss where there are tons of rats and one just has a mohawk.
Okay, so not that one, because there's the Royal Rat Authority and there's the Royal Rat Vanguard. I can't remember which is which. One of them is the Swarm of Rat boss. One of them is just like a giant, like like a huge rat, like twice as tall as you. You didn't fight it? Okay, it might be optional.
Because is it in Scholar of the First Sin? Because that's the one I've been playing. I know they changed a lot of stuff.
They might have removed it. I don't know.
Because I've only played Scholar of the First Sin.
I also don't know that it's progress blocking. It might just be like an optional.
Sure.
Like
but it's like the Smelter Demon, isn't it?
What are the clubs called? The like the things you can join in.
Covenants.
It might be a covenant thing.
Because like the Smelter Demon in the Iron Keep, for example, you don't have to fight him.
Right.
He's hard as shit. He is.
He was actually hard for me. I had to get good because like he's got fire, so it breaks through your shield.
Yeah, when he levels up.
Yeah.
Like, he levels up, doesn't he? And then the second time he levels up, he does damage to anyone near him.
Yeah.
And he has a sword that has a massive range because it's got flames on it.
I did have a shield that had 100% physical and 100% fire block, but I ended up not. I didn't use it because it was boring. It was too slow.
Yeah.
I didn't have the stats to like easily wield it, so I just two-handed a thing and got good. It sucked. It wasn't really worth it, but it was fun, I guess.
So I've been afraid of Dark Souls for no reason then.
It's not as hard as Demon Souls. Demon Souls was probably the hardest one.
Yes.
Fucking shit. Demon Souls was just fucking
Demon
dumb.
Souls is in one very small way. Demon Souls is easier, and that is it's linear. Like in Dark Souls 1, it's sometimes hard to know where to go next.
But
Same
Dark
in Dark
Souls 2 is
Souls
linear
2.
as well, right?
A little bit, yeah, definitely.
A little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
But
There's one part where I was completely stuck in Dark Souls 2, and it's like, okay, I'm re-wandering the map until I figure out what to do.
Yeah, the problem is with, do you know, for me, I played Dark Souls 1 a bit, but I didn't play it a lot. So when I first got planted into Majula in Dark Souls 2, there's like 5 routes to go, and I have no idea which way is best.
Yeah, like, basically, you just kind of go... You go, and if you die too quickly, you try and find a different way. Try and find the way that doesn't kill you as quickly as the other ways.
Sorry to break up the pace, but do you know on Audacity?
Yeah.
How do you make your microphone stay at a certain level? Because it keeps on going down. For fuck's sake.
That's got to be Skype.
Oh, it's Skype messing up with your. It's a.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I haven't got automatically. Oh.
Me neither. That's the problem I have.
Oh yeah. It's a Skype issue. Like a lot of people are having it. It's like I'm the only one that's not having.
I think that's why my spikes were so low. I think that's why my spikes were so low last week.
That could be.
But you sounded okay.
Yeah, you sound
no,
fine
that's what I thought. Let's keep going. I'll keep on raising it every now and then whenever I see it go down. Fucking stupid. But so, but actually, apparently Bloodborne was probably the hardest because of the no blocking and stuff. You just kind of had to get good.
I don't know that. I don't know that.
But they added a mechanic where you get back HP.
Yeah, yes. I can remember because the other day I was like, "How do you do this, boss?" And everyone gave the same answer: "Get good."
That's not helpful.
No, it's totally not. But I can see, like on the Smelter Demon, for example, that's the only advice. This the only advice you can really get. Dodge shit.
Get good means learn his telegraphs and know when to dodge, basically.
Yeah.
And try to bait out certain moves or not bait out certain other moves.
Oh god! Eventually, I did it by summoning a couple of my friends to come and get what for.
One thing I don't know how I feel about this is so in Dark Souls 1, every time you rested a bonfire, all the NPCs in the world reset, or not all the enemies, not bosses or whatever. In Dark Souls 2, after you kill a specific NPC, I think it's like 7 times, they stop spawning.
7. Yeah.
And so that was interesting because it made a way to make the game easier. For example, in the first DLC for Dark Souls 2, there's an optional boss who's basically a Smelter Demon again, but he's slightly harder. The most annoying thing about him, though, is the run up to him it's like one of the worst meat grinders ever. And I was like, I'm not dealing with that crap. So I just killed the entire thing like 7 times until they stopped spawning.
It makes it easier, but then again, it also can make something harder if you think about it. Because let's say, for those people who like to grind,
there's a finite number of souls. Yeah.
Yeah. If you know.
The trick is there's not really a finite number of souls because so what I do if I want souls, what I do is I just go up to a boss gate and drop my white sigil. And people summon me, and I fight the boss over and over and over and over again. And then I get good at the boss, and I get a buttload of souls.
Oh, that's not a bad idea, actually.
Because
one thing I don't like about Dark Souls 2 is the way to summon phantoms. It's the stupidest shit in the world. You have to wear a ring.
In 1. In 2, you have to wear a ring if you're trying to summon a specific friend phantom.
summoning
Dark Souls 1 didn't even have that, though.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's just luck. Like, okay, I'm dropping my sign now. Hopefully you're the one who sees it and picks it up.
It's like, you have to wear a ring which takes up a ring slot. I know you can take it off after, but it's just faffing about.
Yep. You're not wrong.
Why can't you just pick from a god in the menu?
That'd be too easy. I don't know.
But it's not even really hard. You have to put a ring on. It's just a hassle. Annoying more than anything.
Yeah.
And then you can only... actually, I do like the fact that you can only summon people within a certain range of you.
Is that right?
Oh, but if not, you can use the small white post.
Because I think the summoning rules are kind of the same as the invasion rules. So you won't get invaded by somebody who's egregiously stronger than you either.
I'd suspect so, yeah. If not, that'd be stupid.
Well, there's also, I don't know, I think there was some outcry, because Dark Souls 2, I think, so you have, like, your character has their level, like how many attribute points they have, but they also have, like, some other thing that tracks their power level.
Well, that's a soul memory, isn't it? Soul memory.
Yes, soul memory, that's what it's called, yes.
That's if anyone doesn't know, that's basically all the souls you've collected in the game. It goes towards your soul memory. Every time you pick up a soul...
It's a better way to track, like, your gear strength as well.
Like, I'm on 1.6 million soul memory at the minute. That's inconceivable to me.
It's a high number.
Yeah.
But
it's not even that high, though. It's not even that high.
I didn't look at mine.
It's really not.
Okay.
But it sounds high.
It does.
But overall, I've enjoyed it. I think it's been quite an enjoyable... For a game that bitch slaps you every time you exit a bonfire... It's rather enjoyable. I like how it's hard. But then again, some of the bosses, like my mate says, some of the zones are hard for the wrong reasons. I like a game to be hard because it's designed to be hard. Not just because I'm getting fired at by 5 different directions by projectiles. That's just annoying.
That's he's got to run. Well, see,
yeah.
The thing, I like when different sections make me change my playstyle. Like, it's like the default playstyle is slowly walk forward with my shield raised. And I like levels that make me try and do something different. They force me to do something different.
I don't know, but it's the same reason that I hated Shadow of Mordor. Is because the only thing that posed any threat in that game were people with arrows. Because you couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, fucking assholes.
It wasn't even hard. The reason I hated Shadow of
annoying.
Mordor is because it was one of the easiest games I've ever played.
You could pull your own bow out. I wonder if the changes to Dark Souls 3 will make me... get to use spells a little more, because I've never been a caster, and when I played Dark Souls 1 I tried to put a little bit of points into like pyromancy stuff, but it wasn't worth it at all. And Dark Souls 2 I just didn't bother with spells at all.
You see, I'm surprised I didn't go the pyromancy route. I chose not to, but usually when I play an RPG or fantasy RPG or anything like that, I always go for mage or spellcaster. That's what I do. I just go straight for it. But this time I was just like, no, I want the massive swords to pound people into mulch. So I'm just using great swords.
I like ranger.
Maybe because you don't really see videos of casters much. It's mostly just...
But I've never watched anything about Dark Souls.
In Dark Souls 2, when it first came out, the faith-based casters were actually broken. They actually nerfed them, so they're not usable anymore. But they were like, lightning powers were the strongest thing in the game by an obscene margin, apparently.
Yeah. But apart from that, yeah, I think it's just Dark Souls, really. League of Legends, as per, but who cares? Are you
going to stop Dark Souls 2 once you finish the boss? Because you're not going to have time to do the DLC before 3 drops.
Yeah, well, my friend has given me a hedge. I'm hedging going into the DLC because my friend's doing it at the moment. And on Discord, he's flipping out every 5 minutes because apparently it's rather hard.
So each DLC has 3 bosses. One of those bosses is always optional. The optional bosses are all pretty difficult. The third one's pretty hard, I think. The other 2 aren't terrible. They're all really creative on their level design. I don't know, they're all really good.
Like he's been like flipping out. I'm like, I'll do it. But if when Dark Souls 3 come out, I said Dark Souls 2's done. I'm gonna just play Dark Souls 3, like, because why wouldn't I?
I don't know. I'd be very surprised if I'm able to do it. But in my perfect world, I will have beaten Dark Souls 3 by next week's podcast.
Ooh, all right.
I can only do that if I don't have work next week at all. I've recorded enough stuff, I can do it, and keep the YouTube channel schedule on track. But if real life rears its ugly head, I'll be screwed.
The thing with me is, I'm not so bothered about finishing a week. I want to finish it by the time Overwatch comes out. Because as soon as Overwatch comes out, that's it. Probably no more League of Legends for a while. No more Dark Souls, no more anything. Overwatch will take over my life for a considerable amount of time. I can't stress enough how long I've been waiting for this fucking game. And I can't stress enough how much I hate Blizzard for not giving me a fucking beta key.
Right.
Fucking Jesus. Oh god, I've bought every single one of their games up to yet, pretty much, apart from Diablo 1, because why would I? But like even StarCraft 1, I bought StarCraft 1, and you can't even give me a beta key. Hate them, dickheads. But yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Did you buy the deluxe edition?
I haven't bought it yet because I'm getting it for my birthday, so
nice.
I'm gonna have to explicitly tell whoever's buying it me which one to buy, because I don't want them to get me the original one. I might get the one off Amazon, because you get like a couple of things with it, and it's only like £38 or something, so not much. So I might just buy that one. But yeah, super excited. But apart from that, I think it's just I don't think I played anything more. To be honest with you, no, that's it. What about you, Phil? What you've been up to?
So I finished Infra, which was good. Oh, you weren't here last week, so you don't know what Infra was. It's a game. It's a linear puzzle game, a bit like Riven, where you're walking through like this kind of abandoned world and solving slightly esoteric puzzles, like turn on the valve here to remove the water from this, and then I can go in there and walk through the drain and get to the next place kind of crap.
So it's like Myst.
It's a bit like Myst. Not nearly as hard, not by a long shot. It deliberately has a bit of the problem where the world is so like actualized, like such a real world, that things vital to solving the puzzles you just don't even look at, because you think there's a box. Oh, I need to carry all the boxes from this room over to this other room and stack them up so I can climb over this wall, kind of stuff like that. And that was kind of
It blends in so much that you wouldn't have. That's when we were playing Deponia. You were like,
exactly.
It's like it's hard to distinguish what's important and what's
yes.
not. A good adventure game can have the subtle differences. Like Silent Hill, for example, the doors. You could instantly know if you could open a door or not by the way it was designed. Like the way it looked.
That was a problem in this game, because there was one point I spent like 20 minutes wandering around before realizing one of the control panels that I just glanced over was interactable. It wasn't just a block of lights, it actually had buttons on it that I could press.
Stupid.
Like, I mean, the fault is partly with me, but not entirely.
But like you should, like the thing is that's not good design though.
Right.
I want to know if I can't get by in an adventure game, it's because I'm bad, not because I missed something that was.
Right. So that's the problem. The puzzles do not get harder. The puzzles just get hard. Like, so one of the penultimate puzzles is there's a forklift, and you're in a room with like a crane system, and so what you have to do is the crane's holding like this barrel of like cement or whatever. You have to move the crane over so the cement hits the forklift and forces the fork part underneath a door. Then you have to go in the same room. There's a bookshelf, which is pretty easy to find. It has a battery, so you put the battery into the forklift and turn it on, and then you find that you have a key and you can like turn the forklift on and off, but it's not starting, and there's cans of gas everywhere. I'm like, okay, so the cans of gas don't power the forklift because there's a funnel clearly in the forklift's gas thing. And it turns out that the first door you walk into that room, above your head is a shelf. So you have to turn around, climb up on a box, remove everything from the shelf, and in the back is a blue can of diesel fuel. And that's what powers the forklift. And it's like, I spent like half an hour looking for that.
It's just poor design.
Like, I wrote a review on Steam, and I said, my favorite part of solving a jigsaw puzzle is not the moment where I have to dig through the couch cushions because I'm missing a piece.
Exactly. Like, I think that was a problem with Talos Principle.
Oh, okay. That's on my list to play.
Sometimes it wasn't obvious that you'd missed a piece.
That's too bad.
Like, some of the objects didn't interact the way you'd thought, so you didn't really. It was a bit weird. I think a game that actually incorporates that perfectly is a game called Anna, or is it Amy? Anna, I think it was called.
I don't know.
Anna is a puzzle game, a first-person indie puzzle game on Steam. It's a bit horror-y. To open a door, you have to put together two pieces of a broken mirror, stick a pine cone to it, put that on the door, and then set it on fire. It's like I think some of these people who are making these games forget the whole word of the logic in logic puzzle. Like that diesel thing, it's just
funny.
poor design.
So
I want to.
The room's not that big, so while these things were annoying, I still, on the whole, do recommend the game.
Oh, that's
I do
fair.
think it's a good game, but there were a couple moments like that.
The problem is when it's a massive area. Because, like I said, I want to know that I can't finish a game because I'm bad, not because I wasn't given all the pieces to the puzzle. Right.
And the other small bad thing about the game, so it started out as a good thing. A lot of the puzzles have multiple solutions. Like if you're locked in a room, I'll think of a specific room. There's a specific room. I was locked in it. You have a computer, so I was able to like hack the computer, solve the interface puzzle, and unlock this certain door and get out. But it turns out I could have also unlocked a different door and like found a wheel and climbed down and like turned off this gas main and snuck out through like this wall of steam. That's cool. I like multiple solutions to puzzles. The problem is the only reason I know about both the solutions is because I solved it the first way and I left through that door and I found the wall of steam that was the other exit, but I didn't know it was another exit. So I spent like an hour trying to solve the puzzle of the wall of steam because I thought it was the way forward, not the way back to the room I just left. And I was solving it from the wrong direction.
And another question is the multiple solutions. Yeah. I find a puzzle game that has multiple solutions. Let's say that you have two solutions to a single puzzle, right? Mm-hmm. One of them is easier and one of them is harder.
Probably.
The easier one the easier one needs to be harder to find.
Oh, sure.
And the harder one needs to be easier to find.
That makes sense.
Although you've got an easy one, it's harder to find the solution to that puzzle.
Yeah.
In the end, it becomes clearer than easy.
Well, it was a little frustrating too because there are a lot of optional puzzles in this game, and they're there to reveal more story elements. But that one was just like I didn't get anything from it. I was like, oh man.
See, that's a big problem for me because optional is a hard word to use in today's gaming.
It was hard to know. I definitely half solved a large number of puzzles, I'm pretty sure. It's like, I did a thing, it's like, I'll look around for more clues, and I found progress and just never went back.
Like, I hate when optional puzzles hide story elements. I can't stand that. If you want it, story elements should only be hidden behind mandatory puzzles. Because what if I don't want to do the optional puzzles? I'm going to miss out on the story. I know that sounds a bit like...
You got to play the full game to get the full thing?
Yeah,
I don't know.
But optional puzzles should be the more creative ones.
Sure.
Like, the main story puzzles should be, quite hard or progressively harder, The optional puzzles should introduce new mechanics, have a bit of flamboyancy to them, They should be fun to do because they're fucking optional. No one's going to do optional puzzles that are stupidly annoying to do. No one wants to do that.
Right.
I don't know. It's just a bit like puzzle games are really hard to do well.
Totally.
Like Portal makes it look easy.
Yeah.
And it's I think that's the trap a lot of these developers fall into. The fact that it's not easy to make a good puzzle game at all, and a lot of them assume it is because there's no fighting in it and no gun mechanics.
Yeah, a gunless adventure.
Yeah.
One thing I did like about this, you've played Gone Home, right?
I have, yes. That's the one in the house, right?
Yes. Yeah. So when you played Gone Home, did you know ahead of time whether or not it was a horror game? Like, did you expect there to be a monster when you were playing Gone Home at some point? Were you afraid?
With the ambience, it kind of felt
exactly. That's what everyone says, I think. I got that with Infra too. Like, I was expecting a monster at several points in the game.
I wasn't expecting a monster. I was expecting something creepy.
Something scary, sure. Not a literal monster.
It felt eerie. Because it was an empty house.
Exactly.
It was just you with very little interactable objects at hand. So yeah, I did feel like there's something that's going to happen.
Okay.
I like that design though.
I do too.
It makes it's the reason Amnesia did so well because you don't need fighting. You just it's the atmosphere does it.
Mechanically, this game is very similar to Amnesia. I mean, in the sense that you have to pick up things and bring them around. Unity engine, I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is an episodic game, so this is episode 1. I will definitely be playing episode 2 Although I don't know if I'm going to buy it or not. Because episode 1 got sent to me as a key.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if I'll buy episode 2. I probably will. I don't know. We'll have to see how I feel at the time. So that I finished Infra. And I also played a lot more of Tree of Saviors. I'm level 115 now. And I've hit a very, very tiring moment. So I'm a level 1 cleric, level 3 priest. Which means I can support the crap out of everything. But I've put all of my attribute points into strength instead of intelligence. Because I'm going to be a monk eventually. But I'm not a monk yet. And until recently, that hadn't been
monkey.
Until recently, that hadn't been a terrible problem. But for some reason, like the last couple days, just doing the missions has been really, really painful. Because I kill things so slow, and you have to get the last hit to get to count as a kill for your quest. So other people can just run by and take your kills. And if things aggro from farther away and they knock you down, that's the trouble with the game, is combat is never hard. Like, very, very rarely do I die. Things just take a long time to kill. Basically, the game is kind of like they're ammo sponges, but for melee and spells. And bosses are the most boring thing I've ever seen. Like, questing is fine, but the instances, the dungeons are dreadful. Like, I do them because they pay out in experience very, very well, but they don't pay out in loot that's anything interesting, and they're incredibly tedious.
You see, that's the little things that people don't realize when it comes to designing a game. Like, it might sound easy, but like when designing combat, for example, how many hits should an enemy take? Yeah. It needs to be the right balance between not annoying and tedious and not too easy. It's interesting because some games fail epically when it comes to making a well designed like combat game, but some of them just it's I just find it interesting the little it's not really the big things when you think about it when it comes to. Do you know that obviously some games are just flat out bad,
right?
But a lot of the games do you know the games that you play and you felt like they had potential?
Yeah.
Normally that comes down to little niggly problems that add up in the long run.
Polish.
Yeah. Like, because obviously some games are just trash. And
right.
Just poorly made.
So this is actually a good segue into the final game I played this week, which was, I was going to talk about this earlier, Hyperlight Drifter. I kickstarted it.
I got someone was telling me about it today. Apparently it's quite hard. Yeah.
It's very hard, and I think for the wrong reasons.
Oh, okay.
I think. It could just be that I haven't gotten good, but I beat the first boss today, and I don't think I'm going to play the game again.
What kind of game is it, by the way?
So it's a top-down. So I'm playing with the PlayStation 4 controller. It's top-down. You can move up, down, left, right. You have one button to dash, one button to swing a melee sword. Right trigger fires your ranged weapon, and you have a button to drink an Estus flask to heal, basically. The trouble is, dashing doesn't have any iframes on it, really. Like, you can take damage while you're dodging, and enemies have a lot of, like, you can't really stagger enemies. There are certain very specific windows where you can stagger them, but they can't really. So if I dash up to an enemy and start hitting him, he's just going to hit me back. And it makes the combat feel really terrible. So I love the world. It's really cool, this open world. I love the music, I love the look.
Don't it look a bit like Titan Souls?
It looks a bit like Titan Souls. I can definitely see
something like that
there. I really like the storytelling because there's no text. It's all through pictures. Like, you'll walk up to an NPC, you'll hit the talk button, and he'll show like a picture of like this big scary frog boss. Like, that's the boss I'm gonna fight, big scary frog guy, and it shows a picture of the frog guy like eating like a village or whatever. It's like, I gotta kill that guy, and so then you go and fight, and that's cool. But then like so the frog boss, he'll come out and he'll throw like 4 like cans in the row. I have no idea how they track. Like, if I'm walking to the left, sometimes they'd land behind me. Sometimes he'd anticipate them and throw them in front of me, so I have to track back to the right. It just seems completely random. And then he'd do like a series of frog hops that, again, would sometimes track and sometimes wouldn't track. And if he hits you with anything, it knocks you down. You slowly stand back up, and if it wasn't the last thing in the sequence, you'll get hit again. So usually, if you get hit by the first thing, you're dead. Because healing takes a long time too. Like, even if I get hit by a thing, I get back up in time to hit the heal button, I will get hit during the heal, which doesn't interrupt it, but it means I don't get my full HP. I take the damage after getting healed to full. And it made the fights feel less like they required finesse, and more like they required a mix of luck, mostly luck, and a bit of just brute forcing. Just like dash in, hit, dash out, try to dodge. I don't know. I mean, he has a gimmick to him, which is cool. Like, there's really strong design elements in the game that I like. I want to like the game, but the act of playing it was causing me to, like, rip my hair out. I don't know.
Maybe you just need to get good.
Exactly. Maybe I just need to, but I just feel like it doesn't feel right. Like the whole dodging combat
like you can't get
mechanic.
good, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no way for you to get good.
I mean, it sounds a bit like...
One thing I do like about it is, so you have like your ranged weapon, and it has an ammo thing, and you refill your ammo by hitting opponents. So you can like shoot to like thin the guys out, dash in, hit them, try to dash out. But the timing is really precise. I don't know. I don't know if I've played it long enough to find the Metroid elements to it. Because I beat the first boss and I got a new gun, but I don't know what other things there are to get. I don't know what the RPG elements there are. Because I've found like things not that I can tell. Like, I've acquired things, like, you find these little boxes on the ground that give you a square, and every 4 squares, like, this animation happens, and you get, like, a bigger square. I've gotten, like, 4 of these things, but I don't know what they do. Like, they don't seem to increase my health, or my damage, or my defense, or my stamina, or... I don't know. There's no... I don't know.
That sounds like a perfect example of what we were talking about. That sounds like a lot of little problems adding up to one big one. Like... The problem with combat that emulates Dark Souls, which is kind of why it is from a 2D, like, isometric point of view.
Yes.
You know, dashing and,
if you're behind something, too, you're just fucked because you can't see.
Right. You see, yeah, the problem with, mimicking that kind of gameplay is it needs to work on finesse. It needs to be easier the better you are at the game.
Yeah, which is why I think there's definitely... a portion of me not liking it is because I haven't figured out the timing on everything. But all the animations take so long. Like, I need to get good at that, but I don't want to, because it doesn't even feel good. The times that fights go flawlessly, it still hasn't felt good.
Like, it felt like it wasn't really you that
it felt like I just,
anything.
like, I got lucky, I guess. Like, the enemy aggroed in a different way than it did than the first time I died during the room.
Yeah. Like,
or I happened to dodge a thing. Doing what I intend to do doesn't happen that often.
There needs to be a sense of achievement, I think, is what it is. Because, like, on Dark Souls, when I was fighting the Smelter Demon, for example, it took me, like, over 20 tries. But when I finally did it, it was like, yeah, boy, you fucking did it. It's great. You know? It's bad when...
Because Dark Souls is very fair. It's consistent.
Yeah.
Like, you never get screwed by bad luck. You
never die and go, that shouldn't have happened.
Right.
You always know why you die.
Exactly.
And that's good. That's really good design. That really other games like do. Like,
yes.
A lot of games that are that style don't do it very well because it's hard to do that very well. To be honest with you, it's not easy. You have to incorporate so much into it and think about more solutions that maybe you wouldn't think of from a small developer.
Yeah.
Dodging, pick any of the... Dodging is incredibly hard to do well.
It's more important even... Like, let's compare it to like a platforming game. Like, the most important thing in a platforming game is a good feeling jump.
Yeah.
Dodging is like even more important than that in a game that you...
Like Mario had good feeling when it came to platforming.
The rate it goes up, the rate it descends. Is it a variable jump, that kind of thing? Can you steer
like
in the air?
Dark Souls has a good dodge or a good jump dodge because you have a clear idea of what the hitboxes are on the enemies. So, do you know the big sentinels in the Dragonair, for example, the massive ones? They either have a mace or an axe or whatever, right? After what I always do if I'm fighting something is I don't hit them at all for the first half a minute of the fight. I check out all their combos.
Right.
Before doing anything.
Right.
But as soon as I've witnessed them all, I pretty much have a good idea of if I'm going to get hit. From a certain distance or from a certain angle.
Also what's he doing? What's he doing? Oh, he's doing an overhand attack. You know what the telegraph maps to.
Exactly. And you tend to... A couple of times, that's annoyed me, admittedly, is a guy with a mace. Sometimes when he goes for an overhand attack, he'll only hit you once. But then, or sometimes he'll have a 3-hit combo, but they're not really discernible. So you block the first one and then go in for the attack, but then you don't realise he's got 2 more coming, and he'll just smack you in the face. That's just... It's not... I shouldn't have died. It's there must be something I'm missing,
right?
And that's the player's fault,
right?
And I think that's so many times you hear people go, "Oh, it's too hard. It shouldn't be that hard." There are a lot of people I've spoken to about Dark Souls who don't play it have said this. Oh no, it's too hard. Shouldn't be that hard. Should be easier.
Just grind a little more. There's enough built in. Yeah, I don't know.
No, it shouldn't. I don't play Dark Souls, and I don't think it should be easier.
There's a lot of people out there that don't like deliberately massively difficult games.
You know what they remind me of?
Bitches.
The same people who played Dark Souls and said it shouldn't have an easy mode because I don't want to share. It just reminds me of that.
It's a similar thing. Saying something you should or shouldn't.
No, wait. I hate to say this, but after playing Dark Souls, I also don't think there should be an easy mode. I wouldn't,
because you just don't want to share your toys. That's
I wouldn't bitch and moan if it happened.
Exactly.
I don't think there should be.
Exactly.
I think
if you don't bitch and moan, it's fine.
I think it's just...
I don't think there should or shouldn't be.
I think after playing Dark Souls, if someone came up to me and went, "What did you take away from Dark Souls?" The first thing would be, it's fucking hard. That'd be the first and foremost thing that I'd take away from Dark Souls 2. And to add an easy mode just kind of seems... I don't know what the word is. It just seems a bit,
what's the point
cheap.
of playing it?
Yeah, what's the point in have?
The answer to that question is, an easy mode, theoretically, would be to people right now who can't play Dark Souls because it's too hard. An easy mode would be as hard to them as it currently is to us.
But would it though?
Yeah, realistically, probably not.
Because the thing is, it's not one of these games where only certain people can play it. Like, it's not like League of Legends where it's like only certain people can get to that level. On Dark Souls, it's just about thinking and changing your playstyle around certain things. It's about adapting mostly. So it's not the
How is that different from League of Legends?
Because in League of Legends, only there are people who are just never going to get to Masters, for example.
Same as Dark Souls, right?
No, I think
not everybody can get good.
I think there's much less proportion of people who won't be able to finish the game. I think most people, if given enough time on Dark Souls, will finish the game. I believe that to be true.
I
guess because it has grinding, that's why.
Yeah, but it might not be. It might take a long time. But I don't think there's many people in the world that just flat out won't ever be able to finish it. I don't know. It's just.
But it's different. It's hard to compare. You're comparing a PvE versus a PvP game.
Yeah.
No,
but PvP it's just game. Your skill is not solitary. It depends on how good your competition is as well.
But this PvP
like PvE, you're
just.
So
seriously,
the comparison between the two would be like, you can't. A lot of people aren't going to make Masters in League of Legends. People also aren't going to be in the leaderboards of Dark Souls PvP.
Yes, people.
Yeah, you have to compare.
Or it's not another way to say it. Some people aren't going to get in Masters in League of Legends, but then some people aren't going to be able to finish Dark Souls at level 1, like one of my friends did.
Yes, that's a better comparison.
Some people just won't be able to do that because it's just too hard. But I think that up until I played it, I was just a bystander who looked on. And I was like, whatever. But now playing it, its difficulty is the one defining factor of the game for me.
Pretty much. I mean, without it, it wouldn't be as enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean...
the combat would be bland.
The sense of achievement... I was speculating...
It'd be a hack-and-slash game, basically.
Yeah, like when we were talking about it the other week, I was speculating on the sense of achievement you get from playing the bosses because I had no idea. But after doing it, the sense of achievement of finally beating a boss is actually really fucking good.
Yeah.
And I think it's just kind of a cop-out to put an easy mode in just to please
I still think for somebody who sucks at Dark Souls, an easy mode isn't exactly easy mode for them. You get what I mean?
Exactly. I mean...
oh, no, I'm not saying that.
I definitely... Also, I mean... Again, I don't know what the point necessarily would be, but let's say the easy mode is outrageously easy. Like, super friggin' easy. It's not really necessarily a bad thing, still, that people who can't play the game at all get to play this lesser version of the game. That's still okay. Again, I wouldn't say that should be there, but if it was there, it wouldn't affect my
fear?
Experience.
I think I figured it out. I think the reason I object to an easy mode is, I know this is a really dumb way of putting it,
definitely
right?
Yeah.
But if someone was to play in easy mode, and you've got to imagine the easy mode will be less fulfilling because, you know, it's easier. The bosses will have less health and won't soak up as much damage. There'll probably be less mobs.
The fulfillment is determined by the player.
My problem is, what if someone I know does play the easy mode and comes back and goes, "Oh, that Dark Souls was very boring."
That would be infuriating.
And you're like, you have no idea. You didn't play the fucking game. Like, God. Like, I think that's...
It's kind of like when, I remember like a year or two ago, some journalists got like in a little bit of trouble because they reviewed the game and they played it on easy mode because they're video game journalists. They don't have time, so they played it on easy mode to get through it quicker. And the easy mode ending of the story was different.
Is that an easy mode?
Not in Dark Souls.
No.
Other games. I don't remember what other games there were.
Right.
But like the ending was trash because this happened. Like, actually, I mean, if you get the true ending from the medium difficulty, I don't remember what game it was though.
That's interesting. Different difficulty with different endings.
Yeah, if it was to put, I was talking about this in Discord with all my friends, and my friends were not happy about the idea of an easy mode being introduced in Dark Souls. They were just like, no, like, why? What's the? I mean,
well, honestly, you're pitching it to the wrong people. You're pitching it to the people who already play Dark Souls, who don't have any reason to want
I understand both sides. I really do.
Yeah.
But I understand one side more than the other.
Right.
I get the whole let's involve everybody, but I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, it's not my fault if some fuckwit can't play the game. That's not my fault, you know? So, I don't know.
How is it your fault?
I mean, it doesn't affect anybody at all.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
the only people concerned are the game devs and those people who want to play the game but can't.
I don't. From a business standpoint,
Exactly.
From a business standpoint, the include everyone model makes sense.
Yes.
But I don't agree with the include everyone model.
Sure.
Personally.
I mean, my favorite show, Venture Bros, definitely not for everybody. The comedic stylings and references most people aren't gonna get who haven't, watched a lot of comic books.
Because the thing is, do you know if someone came up to me and went, "Oh, I really would wish I could play Dark Souls, but it's a bit too hard for me." Well, there's loads of other RPGs you can go and play. Dark Souls isn't the only RPG on the fucking planet. It's not even really an RPG. Like, it has RPG elements, but Sure. So especially in the gaming industry where there's so much variety and options to choose from, I think that overall, I just don't think it needs an easy mode, personally.
I just want to check.
I mean,
I'm gonna be an asshole by asking this. Nathan, are your friends that play Dark Souls the type that will tell casuals to go play Candy Crush?
No.
No. Just checking.
They're a bit like me.
There are people like that, I'm saying.
They're a bit like me. They're a bit like me when it comes to League of Legends. When, if you are not good enough to play ranked, for example, you probably shouldn't be playing ranked yet. That one I agree, because you affect other people's performance. But no, I do believe
it's a PvP team game.
I do believe there are some people out there that do not deserve to play a hard game like Dark Souls, but that's not their own fault. They're just not very good at games. Like another one of my friends is just really bad at games. He's just terrible at games. Every game he picks up, he's just not very good at it. But there's just some people like that out there, and that sucks for them. But
the people who can't play Dark Souls but want to, I wonder what they hope to get from it.
Yeah, because it's like, if I had never played Dark Souls,
because I wouldn't. The thing you get is the sense of achievement. But if you're playing on easier, would you still be able to get that? Some people, I guess, would. I don't know that I'd be able to.
Definitely not for you, because you're a regular Dark Souls player.
I guess
I think the biggest problem I would have is...
I don't play everything on the hardest difficulty either.
I think the biggest problem would be the time devoted to making an easy mode could be devoted to making a better experience for what the game already is. I think that would be the biggest problem for me. Because it'd take a fair amount of time.
But we're speculating that it does take time.
Right, I mean...
No, it absolutely would. Of course
a very simple solution...
It depends.
A solution, I think, to make things easier would be, like, let's say easy mode just makes it so when you die, you keep all your souls. I think that'd be a huge difference. And make the game a lot easier.
Why would there be a whole mode just for that? You could just be an option. Like...
Well, that's the same thing. I don't know.
Which is just the same thing. It's an option, right?
No, but an entire easy mode would mean at the main menu screen, you choose to play it on either easy or regular, right?
It depends on what the game devs define their modes, what they want the modes to be.
An easy mode that would be brought in, right? The whole point.
The idea of a mode is you can't change it halfway through the playthrough, I guess.
Yeah, the whole point of this easy mode thing is to incorporate more people into the play experience, right? Which means there's going to be at least a semi-significant change to the mode that's already there for that to happen. Because if not, then why can't they play it as it is? If you don't need to change a lot.
Not losing your souls is pretty huge.
But it's not game breaking. I've lost my souls tons of times.
But it makes it easier.
If Demon Souls didn't have the death penalty that I was talking about, I would have played it. I would have continued playing it.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. It's just...
The thing is, I'm coming from a perspective of not playing Dark Souls before. That's fair. I think for bystanders, when we look into like Monster Hunter or Dark Souls, we see these huge communities that love these games and they're so good at it. We want to be a part of it, or at least try out like what's all the fuss about. Basically,
you see, personally, I can't relate to that because I was never like that. I before playing Dark Souls, I didn't care if there was a large community. I mean, but that's just me. I wasn't really bothered. I mean, it's a bit different per person, really, isn't it? I think the problem is, if I was going to be completely honest, I can't see there being an easy mode without many changes to the existing product. If I was going to envision an easy mode for Dark Souls, it'd be less mobs, different mob placements, less health on all this. But the thing is, it's easy saying all that, but that takes a huge amount of calculation to do that. You can't just say, give it 100 less health. You have to work out how easy you want the game to be. You know, you can't just say, it's easy now because we've taken half its health off. You know, it's not as easy as that. Making an easy mode takes a lot more time and effort because you have to actually figure out how all the pieces are meant to look in the end. I think that's the point I'm trying to make. It's not easy to make an easy mode. You know, there's a lot of time and effort that goes into it. So if I'm right and it does happen to be that, then I would like that time to be devoted to the product that's already there, so that next time I play it. But then that's just a selfish reason, I guess. I want my playthrough to be better, but you know, I don't know. I wouldn't be up in arms if they introduced an easy mode though. I wouldn't be storming the gates. Fuck these guys.
I'm going to describe... I was talking to a friend about why I'm not going to make content off of Dark Souls 3, and I don't know that he understood my reasoning, so I'm going to try and describe it and see if you agree or not. So, the reason I don't want to stream or record Dark Souls 3 is because, to me, it's almost a Zen-like experience. The act of silently walking through a hall, like wondering what's going to be in the corner, getting the crap kicked out of me. I feel like if I'm compelled to react and talk through things, it would ruin my immersion and kind of just change the experience in a way that I don't want it to.
I can see that.
Is your friend never done Let's Plays or videos before?
He's a streamer.
He's a streamer?
He's been
then you should fucking understand.
He's been streaming Dark Souls 2 and he's loving it. He's like, I love how everyone loves it when I die kind of thing. I'm like, dude, you're not playing Dark Souls 2. He's beaten the game, but he had somebody co-op with him and tell him what to do the entire way through it. I haven't told him this at all, but you didn't get the Dark Souls experience.
I think that's what it comes down to. What do you want to gain from Dark Souls. If you want to get the full Dark Souls experience, then do play it alone and with no help. But if you just want to play a game on stream that is fun to stream, because they're two entirely different things. Playing the game and playing the stream are two different things, right? So maybe for him, he enjoys playing the stream more than the...
Also, here's an interesting problem I have. I make a point of beating every single boss solo. I never use any summons whenever I beat a boss.
I don't unless I've had a lot of problem on it. If I've lost 20 times, that's it. That's my quota done.
The problem is, many bosses in the game have NPC summons, which if you beat the boss with the NPC summon, it unlocks, story elements and equipment sometimes. Like, it continues story chains on, and I completely miss out on these.
How do you figure it out without using a walkthrough? Is it clear? Like, you should do this way?
You just have to try it.
Yeah.
You just have to do it.
Trial and error. So you'll know whether or not there's an NPC. Sometimes the NPC symbols to summon them are hidden. But, like, if there is one, you know what that implies.
And the hidden walls. The illusory walls are stupid on that game.
Those are hard to find. There's a lot more in one, actually.
Yeah, but, like, I think that's the thing. I think Dark Souls has one of the best replay values I've seen in a game. It's really good. Although the mobs won't change and all of that, I imagine I've only played
New Game once. Plus. They do change actually.
Oh yeah, but I mean playing the regular one through. So I imagine, I don't know this, I can only speculate. If you play through like I am first time around with a shield and a sword, you're doing that way through. If you play with magic, for example, the second time around, it would be completely different.
That's true.
I assume. I don't know. This is from what I've been told. That's kind of what it's like. So the replay value just seems really, really cool.
I agree.
It gives you different layers on top of what a project that doesn't change, essentially, which is really hard to do when I think about it. To not change the product at all. Yeah. And get a different experience the second time around. That's really hard to do.
I'm seriously debating trying to do, because both Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 I went strength dex. I'm really debating not doing that in Dark Souls
I think I'm
3.
going magic in Dark Souls 3. I'm going to revert to my old ways.
I don't know that I want to go full magic either, though. I don't know what I want to do yet.
I'm really bad at it. Do you know in any game that gives you the option to hybrid, I'm always really bad at it. I don't know. I don't know what proportion of points I should point.
That's kind of why I'm screwed right now in Tree of Saviors. It's because initially I was kind of spreading my points out, but now I've just gone pure strength. But I haven't leveled up enough to get the class that benefits from strength. I have all these intellect skills. It's just like, oh, maybe I should have evened out my points a little better. I don't know. We'll see.
Do you know what I've always thought was a cool idea for like an RPG experience? So, have you ever played a board game called Talisman?
I've heard of it, but I have not played it.
So the way Talisman works is you have two attack stats. You have strength and intellect. Whenever you fight a boss, fight a mob, you can either fight them with intellect or with strength. Certain mobs fight with strength, certain mobs fight with intellect. But then when you get to the center of the map, you can use your intellect or strength to bust through the door to get to the final zone. Okay. I've always thought that's a really cool idea to incorporate into a gaming experience, where a game such as Dark Souls, for example, let's just say an open world RPG like that, would give you the option to do it through intellect or strength, for example, and the experience would be different. Bosses would interact differently to people who are using intellect,
right?
Different to people who are using strength. The mechanics can change for the boss, for spellcasters, because that's the problem I've had with certain bosses and mobs on Dark Souls. Certain mobs are really easy to do with melee because of the way they work, and really hard to do with strength because they run at your face and kill you.
Right.
But then certain mobs are really easy to do with archers because you can
the positioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can pull a little more strategically.
Exactly. So it'd be nice to have an adaptive experience where this boss does this kind of mechanic to overall
Right.
balance the game. I don't know how
that's kind of
hard
why
that
I
would
wish you could diversify yourself a little more. I kind of wish you didn't have to commit to one build quite so hard. Because like I'd like to be able to like walk into a room and be like, I feel like solving this with the bow and arrow.
Yeah. Well, Skyrim had the same problem. If you're down a path, you're down that path. That's it. Like if you decide to use swords, that's it. You're using swords now. That's as soon as that's it. But I don't know how. I imagine it'd be really hard to make an adaptive experience like that. But I've always thought it was a cool idea.
Yeah.
These my friend was telling me about a new type of game that's coming out.
New type of game?
Yeah,
VR.
I think you were talking
VR?
about it. You were talking about it as well, Phil. It's an adaptive storytelling experience.
Yeah, 2K was talking about it.
Yeah, so basically, the story is made up as you play the game. There'll never be a second playthrough that's identical. Everything will change depending on what you do, which I imagine is really fucking hard to do.
It sounds like a pipe dream.
Yeah, it sounds impossible, actually.
It does.
It sounds like it'd take years, like 10 to 20 years.
So I'm sure it's not going to truly be that way, but the closer we can get to that, the better.
Like, moral choice systems was the first step towards that, and it failed epically for in most games. So I don't know. Because moral choice is the only thing to divert. Usually a story is linear. So with moral choice systems and choice systems as a whole, it's the only real game mechanic that's been introduced as of yet that allows you to pick and choose what path to go down. It'd be nice to have a completely adaptive experience, though. That'd be cool.
It'd be very cool.
I'd like to play a character that feels like I'm like me, because very rarely do I role play as a character and feel like I'm doing stuff I would do in that situation.
That's kind of why I stopped Mass Effect. It's because I was slowly presented with decisions that's like, why can't you just use this option? But I had to pick options I didn't like, and it's like, I was kind of burnt out after a while.
Yeah, BioWare games work like that quite a lot, actually.
Yeah,
but it's not
bad at it though,
and it's not their fault. It's hard, like. You can't think of everything, can you?
Right.
Why can't I just kick him in the face? Like,
yeah.
But
I love games that have that option though, where it's like a dialogue scene, and you always just have the option to pull out your gun and just change the scene to a combat scene or something like that.
Yeah.
Those games are cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I think we miss you, Shar. What have you been doing
Yes.
this week?
Oh. I've been playing Mad Max.
Oh yeah, I saw that actually.
Yeah,
Did
I
you
got
start
it from
it this week?
Yes, I got it from the Humble Monthly bundle. So, until the middle of this year or something like that, you get 10% off the first bundle. And Mad Max was like the first game that you will get if you get a bundle. So I thought, what the fuck, 1080 for Mad Max and a bunch of other games. I guess it was a pretty good deal. So I just got it. And in terms of an open world action game, it's fine. I did like the combat. I feel like it's in a very brutal way. I like the combat a lot. A couple of problems. So usually when I play a third person game, I play with a controller. So there are certain annoying things where the same button does two different things. So like climbing a ladder is the A button on the Xbox, but it's also the button to let go of what you're holding. So sometimes
Gosh.
So if you're directly in front of the ladder, it's fine. But sometimes and if you're and one thing I really hate, like Mad Max in this Mad Max universe, fuel and water is like goal, right?
Right.
But your mission in the entire game is to destroy these bad guys' camps and destroy their fuel pumps and shit. I'm like, why are you doing that? And you can ignite fuel cans and shit. I'm like, why? Why do you want to do this?
I didn't like the driving either. I hated the driving on that game.
Yeah, the driving is I would say the handling was bad, but I guess because you do have to upgrade your car, and I did like the look of the game actually. They did the desert well, I guess. Yeah. And the car was kind of fun because you can upgrade a lot of things. There's a lot of upgrades in this game. You get to upgrade mechs, you get to upgrade your car, and you get to level up. Yeah, it's one of those games where they shove in a lot of mechanics.
Especially a lot of the car upgrades are useless. A lot of the car upgrades are shit.
Yeah, it's a cool game to just play when you don't really have anything else to play. For me. So because I need to take a break between my Metal Gear Solid 5, so it's a good change of pace, I guess. It's still an open world game, but no, I don't need to stealth and shit. So I just can go in and like beat people in the head. So I like that. So the combat was really I really nice. I like it's very brutal.
Well, they use the Assassin's Creed combat,
the Arkham Knight style.
Well, yeah, Arkham Knight style, yeah.
But it's less fluid. Like you can't counter when you're in the middle of a heavy attack.
Yeah,
which makes sense, I guess.
It makes sense, but it also makes for really bad pacing.
Yeah, but
I
adapted to it, so I tend to not use heavy attacks when I'm surrounded by a bunch of guys.
I think
so. That's kind of why I didn't like Hyperlight Drifter. You can't interrupt anything with anything.
Yeah, like the reason Arkham City and Arkham Asylum was so good was because although the combat wasn't, but although the combat wasn't insanely hard, it was fluid. Like it felt like you were badass.
It felt better than the movies.
Yeah,
easily the best one versus many fighting system of any game.
Yeah, it was incredible,
especially at the time. Yeah,
like Assassin's Creed also did it very well.
Yeah. But these guys are like trained and shit. I don't want my Mad Max to be like vaulting over people and shit.
Yeah, I suppose. I just think
I don't see Mel Gibson being able to do that.
I want to combine it with the melee fighting from Last of Us. Like Last of Us, like that fist laser system. Like if you punch someone, it would like calculate the vectors so they'd like fly in the right direction, and, like hit the level in the right way.
I have no idea. Really cool. I don't know anything about Last of Us.
Oh,
I should have played. I should have played it on my PS3 before it went bonkers.
For me, it was one of the most overrated games I've ever played.
Really?
Oh no!
I heard so much good stuff about it.
It is very highly rated, possibly overly so.
And I played it, and I was like, I mean, it's good, but
did you play Uncharted?
I liked Uncharted.
Is it like Uncharted?
No,
where it's just really linear and.
Well, no, that's not the problem with it. The problem was the story for me. None of the characters were really likable at all, especially the main guy. What's his face?
Did you
Joel?
Joel's just an unlikable twat. He's just a cunt.
What's the girl's name?
For no
Ellie?
reason.
Ellie.
Ellie was okay.
So Joel and Ellie didn't have the dynamic that Lee and Clem had?
No, the dynamic between them was actually okay. But it's just Joel's character. He's an arsehole to everyone. It's not fun to watch.
He's bitter because his daughter died. Gives him a right to be a dick.
I mean, but get over it. I mean,
I thought the game gave you choices. Am I wrong? Like you can choose how to react in sentences? No choices. So. Okay. No. Okay.
It was just kind of like Joel.
I didn't think it was that linear.
I just wanted Joel to have. Ironically, he was. Do you know, like, when characters exhibit the same characteristics over and over again, they actually, ironically, end up having no character at all? That's basically what Joel was. He was just an arsehole so much that it became quaint.
M. Night Shyamalan's characters are usually really strong to find by one random character. Like, I always talk about cereal. Or, like, just one random thing. It's like, you're not a fleshed-out character. It doesn't make you relatable. You're just a one-line piece of crap.
For the first 5 or 10 minutes, it's fun to listen to these characters. But then, because Joel's just an arsehole all the time, it just becomes token. It becomes boring. I mean, the only time he's not an arsehole is sometimes to Ellie.
So you don't get to choose how to react at all?
I think you can, yeah.
This is weird. Sorry, this is really random. I'm looking at games on Steam right now that have the player tag Story Rich. And Fallout 4 is there, makes sense. Undertale's there, that makes sense. 2 games are there, and I don't know if they make sense. One is Total War Warhammer. That's an RTS. I have a hard time imagining an RTS that is story rich. Sure, Warhammer has a lot of story, but dragging that into Total War seems a little weird. But the one that really makes me weird, Dark Souls 3 is there with a story-rich tag. It's like, maybe?
Dark Souls 3.
It's already.
This is what happens when you give
story-rich tag
the power to users to tag your games.
Yeah, if it's
come up with
anything,
bullshit.
If it's anything to
it has story. I wouldn't say it's rich.
If it's anything like Dark Souls 2,
it's not poor.
If it's anything like Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 2
it has more story than like Pac-Man.
I think it has a lot of story. The problem is the telling of the stories.
Oh, did you guys watch the British Gaming Awards at all?
No,
BAFTA?
I ever since Destiny won BAFTA for the Game of the Year, I refuse.
Are you talking about BAFTA?
Is that what they're called? Probably.
The British
BAFTAs,
the British
I was messing
BAFTAs.
with my Twitch channel today, and it was streaming the BAFTAs on the front page, and so I clicked it because Dara O'Brien was hosting, who I quite
I love
like.
Dara
Nice.
O'Brien. I like
Yeah.
that.
I love him.
And he was saying he played Dark Souls 2 this past year, and that it's basically just Pac-Man, because you're getting chased by ghosts around corners in this maze. Which is pretty funny.
Oh god, Dara O'Brien's a good comedian. I like Dara.
Very.
He had a really good bit about like Rocket League's here. They got an award. You can tell the FIFA people are like, we spent so much money incorporating females in the FIFA, and you wanted rocket cars. Like, we're done. Like, we don't know what you want anymore.
Oh, I need to watch that. That
I think
sounds
it's worth it
funny.
for
Was he
him.
hosting the BAFTA Awards or something?
It looked like he was hosting.
Okay, so I also played Divinity Original Sin. Only for 3 hours, but I'm gonna say that within that 3 hours, I know it's gonna be a fucking good game.
It's a tactics game?
It's like Baldur's Gate, turn-based
Okay.
RPG.
Got it.
Turn-based
That's what I
top-down
thought.
RPG.
Yeah.
And so I bought it like a few months ago, but I haven't played it because of paralysis by analysis. Because when you start off, you have to choose your character, and there's just so many different skills, different stats, and all that. I was like, shit, I'm gonna play this later on. I'm gonna read up first, and then I just tried a newbie's guide because it's one of those games where you can mess up your build, and your experience will be very bad after that. That's what I read, anyways. So I'm playing it co-op with my girlfriend. So you start off with 2 characters, right? And you create 2 characters, and you can have a party of 4 at the end. But if you play co-op with another person, your partner will play the second character. So which is cool. And I like it a lot because your characters will always like talk to each other and shit. There's a lot of dialogue and stuff. So it's a really cool. I really like it a lot just by playing it for 3 hours. If you like RPGs,
I've heard
RPGs.
nothing but good things about it.
It's really good. I like the look as well. And so when you go into combat, you're basically turn-based with a action point system, stuff like that. So you can, so if you, one thing I like about it is you can press C to sneak. So when you're sneaking, you're wearing this like a suit that makes you like a rock, like a huge rock,
nice.
and then you're moving like a crab, and then you just stop and you move like a crab. So you can have like a preemptive strike before you go into combat as well and stuff like that. So if there's a lot of like elemental stuff. Is that if there's oil on the ground, you can light it on fire. If there's like a puddle of water, you can electrocute it. If you're wet, I think you can't use lightning or something because you can call down rain.
Sense.
So it has a lot of those like environmental elemental stuff. It's a really good game. It's one of those games where you need to sit down for at least a few hours to enjoy it per sitting. I would say
That rock thing reminded me of what happened the other day. I was running through one of the zones in Dark Souls, and my friend was just running along with me. Not a boss. We just thought, fuck it, we'll go into a zone and clear it out. We're bored. And you know them little elevator things you get in them? They're like Iron Maidens, and they take you up.
Yes.
Right, he went in first, and he got to the top, and he turned himself into a vase. And then he just hid there, and I had no idea because I'd never been to that zone before. So I was searching around. I was like, "Kieran, where you gone?" He was like, "I'm just over here, mate." I ended up going near the boss area towards the end, and he was just way back there, sitting next to a wall. Unbelievable.
It's so funny to mess with invaders that do that.
Oh yeah.
Like I saw a video of a guy. He'd just stand there like on a cliff, like looking off into the distance, and he'd get invaded, and they'd walk up behind him like, "Look at this idiot!" And then his friend, who was like a rock, would unstealth and just like shield bash them off the cliff. So funny.
Oh god. Have you guys seen what Valve are doing with the VR?
I know that my Steam banner is all VR games.
With Dota 2.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's really cool. So,
first person Dota 2?
No. So for spectators, if you put the VR on, you get a massive map in front of you, and they've got the finger pads that are coming out with them, and you kind of like look around the room, and if let's say they've got the 5 characters in front of you, like the 5 people from each team in front of you, and their models are whoever they're playing. And if you want to know anything about them, you walk up to their model, put your palm on them, and it comes up with all the stats, like how many kills they've got with this character.
So is it like a war room looking thing almost?
Yeah. And then
they're
thinking about doing this thing where if you click on the map, then it'll transport you into a coliseum kind of thing, and you'll be sat with other people.
Wow.
That have the VR on, just watching the match from a coliseum. Like, it sounds awesome.
Yeah, I think that's one thing about VR that a lot of people are not mentioning is the experience. Like sitting down in and you can be teleported anywhere you want.
I think they're thinking about incorporating into education as well, aren't they? Where basically for lecture rooms and stuff, for lectures at university and stuff, you could put VR on, and you'll be teleported into the room where your lecture's being taken place, and you can just sit in your lecture and take notes and stuff, which sounds really cool.
That's actually one of the world details of Ready Player One.
Oh right, I don't know how effective it'd be and how many people would use it, but it sounds like a cool idea.
Yeah.
But this Dota thing took me off guard. I was like, this is really cool. This is the first piece of VR tech that I've really gone, wow, that looks genuinely fucking awesome. Like,
can you sit down and use a HTC Vive? Are there any applications for sitting down? Because HTC Vive is the one that you need a 6x6 room.
No, I don't think you need them. You don't. If you want to get the full experience out of the Vive, you need the little sensors, don't you? You put them on the wall. But you can just use it like an Oculus. I think you can just sit down and use it as a normal VR. I don't think you have to have a room for it.
Since we are already talking about VR, let's segue into the first news item, which is about VR, specifically the Oculus Rift. So, the Oculus, obviously everybody knows is out already. It's like about $600. The HTC Vive is what, 800, something like that.
Sounds about right.
I think it's $550 and $750 if you can get them for.
So the Oculus Rift, you guys know is owned by Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So when you use the Oculus Rift on your PC, it installs a software that is called OVR server _x64.exe. Basically what it does is it sends updates to Facebook servers. So Facebook so a lot of that, there are two sides of this. So people are saying, Facebook's stealing our data and shit, and then there's other people who are saying, no, Oculus is just using Facebook servers because they need servers and they just didn't rename it or something. Like, so Oculus came out with a statement, and they said we are not sharing information with Facebook at this time. We don't have advertising yet. And Facebook is not using Oculus data for advertising. So not at this time and not yet. But eventually it'll come.
Once enough people use it and it's worth our while.
I mean, advertising. What do they mean by no advertisements?
What?
What do you mean by no advertisements?
Because Facebook is known for advertising, right? They advertise on their Facebook. Yeah, so they can send advertisements to your Oculus
Rift would serve you up.
If they send
maybe at a corner or something.
If they send advertisements to Oculus Rift, that can't be allowed. You can't buy a product and then be flooded with advertisements.
Exactly. Like Facebook is free, which is understandable, but Oculus you spend like $600 freaking dollars on it, and you want to send advertisements, shit. And somebody read up on their like terms and conditions or like user agreement or whatever. They basically said that Facebook can do anything with the data that they get from you. They're tracking everything from the way you move your head and everything.
Yeah, but you know what can they do with that?
They can sell it to other companies.
No, but what my point is, there's nothing to gain from that kind of data.
So
isn't that what people said when back then when Google was?
No, that's a bit different. That's a bit different. They're using your search history, Google were. That's a tad different than how you.
I'm not giving you the full user agreement because I don't remember it. Obviously, they're getting every data that they can get, not just a head movements.
For me, the biggest thing with the user agreement was that they would have the rights to anything produced through the Oculus Rift. Like if you recorded stuff, they would still have rights to that to use that.
Did not
footage.
know that
for a while. Yeah, that was always the idea. I wasn't surprised when that came to fruition. But it's just fucking. I'm not even surprised anymore, to be completely honest with you.
It's Mark Zuckerberg. Suck a dick.
I mean, what can you do? There's no. Just kind of have to live with it, don't you?
You can wait for a competitor who's not as evil.
Well, the good thing is,
if you want to wait that long,
I'm not sure if it's rumors or is it official, but basically Sony is trying to get their PlayStation VR to work on a PC, and it's the cheapest one of the three. It's like $400. It's the cheapest one of the three, and I think it comes with like the motion controllers and shit. What?
Oh yeah, I wonder how long before they're less than a console.
Yeah.
This is the problem, right? The VR was advertised as the future of gaming. Initially, obviously, there's other applications to VR, but the initial
marketing
was
how you get the funding.
Yeah, it's the future of gaming, right? Not many people can buy these things.
No,
no. At least not
if you can afford. Yeah, once you buy it, you have to make sure your PC is able to run it.
Yeah, like it takes a hell of a lot to run it now.
Yeah, you probably have to fork out $3,500, $4,000, maybe.
I think
including
my
the VR and
my computer can probably already use it. So
yeah, definitely.
But the VR,
but your computer costs a lot, right? Like $2,000, would you say?
My computer costs £1,250, so yeah, about $1,800, $1,900.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. But it's usually like that. New technology, first adopters, is usually very expensive.
No, but it also takes a long while to drop in price.
Oh yeah, it does.
Like, look at all the consoles, for example. The PS3 didn't drop to a, reasonable price until like close to the PS4 coming out. I don't know. I really want VR. Like, I genuinely do really want VR, but I can't justify spending £700 on it.
And it's one of those things that's just going to get better too. Like this early VR, it looks good, but I don't know that it's as good as it's costed right now yet.
Yeah, it's not worth £700 for the limited amount of use from it.
Yeah,
nothing's developed for it yet. There's like a handful of games that are all pretty shoddy. I think the idea's there. And
it's like the Generation 1 DS games. They focus too much on the gimmick of the platform.
It's like the life of Nintendo. Make a really cool gimmick, and then no one develops for it.
A bit, yeah.
I don't know. I imagine I'll eventually get one. But I'm not too bothered right now. Like you say, there's not really much to capitalize. Like, even the Valve thing, I can't imagine that coming about anytime soon.
Where do you get your Oculus stuff? Is there like an Oculus store?
Yeah, they have a website, right?
I'm not talking about a machine. I'm talking about like software.
Oh.
Like, where do you get software from?
Like, you mean developer stuff?
No, I mean like the games or like apps or like Netflix and Netflix.
Well, the games they'll probably be listed on Steam, to be honest with you.
Does the Steam stuff run with Oculus?
Probably.
No. Certain Steam, they'll probably start putting Oculus games onto Steam. That's my point.
Yeah, probably.
why wouldn't?
Otherwise, they won't sell.
Yeah.
I saw a pretty cool one called Audio Shield. Have you guys seen that one?
I've heard of that. What's up with it?
It's a rhythm game. So you can play any music
game.
and you hold like two shields. One's red, one is blue, and then like red stuff and blue stuff coming at you, and then you have to like use the proper. It looks pretty cool actually. And then there will be a purple one where you have to use both.
Sounds like Audio Surf a bit.
Yeah. Sounds exactly like that.
I haven't played Audio Surf 2. My first video ever on my channel, like years before I actually made a YouTube channel, I became a Let's Player, I'd posted a couple Audio Surf videos.
I like how Audio Surf adapts to it. It can create
Audio Surf 2 was...
Yeah.
Audio Shield was made by the same Audio Surf guy.
Oh, there we go.
Audio Surf 2.
Because Audio Surf takes your library and it can make a rhythm out of any song in your library, can't it?
Yep.
It doesn't have to be made for it. It can just make one out of any, which is pretty cool.
I think my first rhythm game was on a PS2. What was it called?
Parappa the Rapper. PS2.
Yeah, it's gotta be Parappa the Rapper.
Shit.
Oh.
No. Phonos.
Kick.
One of the hardest games I've ever played.
It was not easy.
Amplitude. That's
I know Amplitude.
That was really good. But it only plays like the songs that came with it.
I say kick, punch, punch, block, kick.
I really liked Patapon for the PSP.
Alright.
It's interesting.
Patapon.
It was like kind of unique. Yeah, I've been walking down the street, it's like pon. It's like doing like commands to myself as I like lived my life.
I like games like that, like cute games. We don't have enough of that. Too many grey-brown shooters these days.
Well, it has to, didn't you know? If you make a modern shooter, you have to make the map grey and boring and like lack life whatsoever.
Realistic. The word you're looking for is realistic.
Yeah,
because when I look out the window, all I see is brown and grey for some reason.
Because you know what? When I go into a building that's been blown up, I often see it full of chest-high walls.
There was something funny in Divinity Origin of Sin. So there was a chest, and it was like blocked off by like a really very easy to bypass rope. You can just step over it, but the game didn't let you to. And the characters were saying like, we're the most powerful characters in the game, and a rope is blocking us. That was kind of funny.
I hate that.
Self-aware, yeah.
It's like do you know Rise, Son of Rome? That was one game.
Yeah.
But at 1 minute you could be climbing over like up a cliff with like really heavy armor on, and then at another point you can't jump over a rock because there's an invisible wall. It's like, oh god, it's so bad.
True Saviors has that problem too, because like the game is drawn beautifully, the art's amazing, and the map. So you have like a map in the top right corner, and occasionally it's like a staircase going off in the distance, and there'll just be an invisible wall, and the map will stop. It's like, if you were gonna put a wall there, like why'd you draw a staircase? Like, I just don't understand, because there are certain staircases which are portals to the next zone, but it's like some of them are just invisible walls just to troll you. It's like, it's so dumb.
Because developers can't come without picturing the tears of people who once trusted.
I guess that sounds about right.
So the next piece of news, not a big one, just a funny one. Donald Trump is the elusive man from Mass Effect. He's the bad guy. Somebody made a Trump. I'm not even sure if he's a supporter of Trump or not, but basically he took like the Mass Effect trailer and made it look like a Trump political video, and Trump retweeted it, and EA and BioWare are pretty much just going around and bringing down everything. So, which is interesting, because I would like to ask you guys, is that using their property for political stuff? Would you consider that fair use?
Hold on, what?
To use like a game trailer, let's say, and you make it into a political video.
No. Without their permission, no. It's not public sector. You can't just take it and use it however you want. It's still, property, intellectual property. Which is actually interesting. I don't know whether you guys know this, but let's take the UK let's take Europe and America for example, right? So, do you know copyright laws? There's a reason that. Do you know if you get two companies from different parts of the world? So, if you get an American company and a European company, and they go to court over copyright usage, normally it's a stalemate. And the reason for that is the copyright laws in the two continents are vastly different. So, for example, in America, you can legally patent intellectual property. In Europe, you cannot. Anything that is created through the use of mathematics is completely fair use. Which is why a lot of software in Europe isn't copyrighted or patented. Not copyrighted as such, patented.
But you keep it a secret, right? As best as you can?
I guess. But most of it's just whatever anyway. But in America, you can patent intellectual property that. In England, in Europe, you can't really do that.
Didn't know
that. Basically, anything through the use of mathematics is considered fair use. Because the way they see it, anyone could have got to that. You just got there first. Because, it's mathematics. Anyone can use it if they really want to. So
you're not creating something new. You just found a solution, basically.
You're basically taking the recipes and putting them together to make a new product.
That's interesting.
Which is why if you ever get a case between Europe and America, it'd become a stalemate because you can't force any individual patent laws because it wouldn't be fair because it's completely different. So that's what's interesting about that when it comes to intellectual property. Technically, can they take it and cater into
I don't know how it works. Let's say I cosplay as Commander Shepard at an anime convention. Is that fair use? But then if I wear that outfit to a Trump rally with a sign that says, I'm Commander Shepard and Trump is the best candidate on the Citadel.
I think the difference is I think the difference is the use. So if you go to a cosplay convention or anime whatever, you're not getting any royalties from that. If you're using it, you're using political.
Well, it could be if I was a professional
but not to any significant degree. But if you are using it for political purposes, you're using it to further yourself in a certain way that they might not like.
I think when it comes to politics, it's usually more sensitive. So BioWare,
that's definitely true.
EA is fuck you, Trump.
So basically, I think it's always
who they support.
I think they can always claim fair use, but they only care about political arenas.
I think it's just because using it to further your political agenda is almost similar to making money from it. If you think about it, it's not exactly the same, but it's the same idea. I think that's what they object to.
I agree with that
mostly.
So there are two camps right now. Some people say it's fair use. Some say it's no, it was used for a political video. It can't be considered fair use. I'm on the side of the latter, I would say.
I hate how people think that just because it's political use, you can do whatever you want with stuff. No, that's not how things work. If it's not yours, you can't use it. Simple as. I don't give a fuck if it's for your political rally. Right?
It sounded like it was more of a joke anyway. But you said you couldn't tell.
I don't think he's supporting Trump. I'm not too sure. Because he made the bad guy to look like Trump. Illusive Man is the bad guy. Or maybe misunderstood. I don't know. It's just interesting. Anyways.
I'm trying to find that fucking the differences between copyrights because I can't remember it exactly. We learnt it in university, and I can remember it being really interesting at the time. Because it's why. Do you know when Apple took Samsung to court over certain stuff? That's the reason that was kind of a stalemate for a long time because the copyright laws were vastly different from each continent. Japan don't have the same copyright laws as America. Which you'd expect when you think about it. But how would that be solved? If you can't take into account any copyright laws because they're both different and only apply to that country, would you basically say you can't sell it in our country because our laws say you cannot, but you can sell it anywhere else?
Probably.
I think that was the case though, wasn't it? Samsung stopped selling their certain products in America for a time.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah. Well, it was weird when I worked for Amazon in California. Amazon wasn't allowed to be in California because then they'd have to pay California sales tax. So I had to say I worked for like a different company. I mean, we were technically we didn't technically work for Amazon, but like ultimately we did. This is a weird legal gray area. I don't know how it worked, but it's not kind of similar. But like there's like there was one state that we couldn't go to at all, or not us, but like actual Amazon employees couldn't go to. They couldn't even visit.
So yeah, next piece of news.
Okay.
A congressman. He was caught using campaign funds on his credit card to buy video games on Steam.
Congressman, right?
No, it's American.
American.
Yep. The San Diego Union Tribune reported this. Hunter's campaign credit card spent $1,302 on Steam games last year.
Is he claiming it was hacked or what?
It was supposed to be the purpose is personal expense to be paid back, but has not been paid back yet.
That's a lot of money.
I believe he claims it's his kid that did it.
Is he buying CS:GO skins?
I have no idea. Some are like $5, some are like $9. There are like $50 and $76 and $96. What the fuck is he buying?
That does remind me. There was a April Fool's prank, which I didn't hear about until this week, where a YouTuber he made an April Fool's prank video where so at least it's Counter-Strike. I'm gonna say Counter-Strike. In Counter-Strike, you can take like 4 rare weapons and combine them to get a random rarer weapon.
10.
So some number. His April Fool's prank was that you could combine 10 of the common item, and there's a certain chance you could get like a knife skin, which is worth like knife skins. I guess are worth
hundreds.
Exactly, $100,000s. He ended the video saying, "Haha, April Fools, you guys," but people didn't watch the whole video, so the market on CS:GO, these common white items, spiked in price. Somebody crunched some numbers. Who knows how accurate they are? But they calculated that over the past few days, these number of items were bought for this much money. He's like, if the prices had stayed the same, then $52,000 extra were spent in total, extra money because of this YouTube video. Because people were buying this item trying to get a knife.
Are people pissed?
People are pissed. People blame him. And it's like, I don't think he did anything wrong.
Yeah, dude, if you watch the entire fucking video, idiots.
Yeah.
Hey, and it's on April the 1st. What?
Exactly, right? I mean, also, like, I think you could be mad at him if he'd said it was April Fool's prank, but had also, like, let's say he was selling a bunch of these common items, and he was just hoping people would know. That'd be sketchy. But he didn't profit off of it in any way, as far as we know.
And by the way, just quick, I found it.
Yeah.
So, under the EPCN, in particular, Article 52, programs for computers are not regarded as inventions for the purpose of granting European patents. But this exclusion from patentability only applies to the extent in which the European patent application on blah, 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 relates to a computer program as such. So, basically, any program created for a computer, so a game or anything like that, cannot be patented under EU law, usually. Usually
you can't patent a video game?
You can't patent... You can patent the video game itself, but you can't...
trademark copyright stuff, right?
Yeah, you could trademark copyright, but you can't patent Dark Souls and say, that's it.
Interesting line to draw. Huh.
Well, it's because you'd get... They're trying to avoid a monopoly, is essentially what it's for.
Totally. I mean, because here in the US, we are plagued... We have a thing called patent trolls, which I'm sure you've heard of, which are people who dig up these really old patents that were given for, because the patent clerks didn't understand what it was, so it's super broad and applies to, like, oh, this patent applies to all computers ever, so now we can sue all computer manufacturers. Just like, no.
There's actually a news item about trademarking. So might as well segue into that. It's about Bandai Namco. So they are trying to trademark the Japanese word called Hisatsu Waza. So that translates to finishing move, as in the broad statement finishing move. They are trying to trademark the words finishing moves. Like, what the fuck? Seriously? Seriously, Bandai? Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm not sure in the context of the Japanese language, is it a very specific Like, it could be
combination. Could be
like a made-up word that maybe they came up with it. I'm not sure. I don't think so, because companies are assholes. So yeah, it's just an interesting thing, I guess. So yeah, another interesting thing, itch.io, the website that you go on for like indie games and shit, they're trying to get their desktop app onto Steam. So it's basically a competitor on Steam. Technically.
Good luck.
I just thought it was interesting.
I won't use it probably, but
I didn't know they had a desktop client.
I think if someone if there was one thing in the computer sector that I would say you should not try, it's competing with Steam. I think we're far past the point where you can compete with it. Just let it go. Let Steam have its time, because you're not gonna beat it. It's too entrenched into people's lives. Like, do you know?
It's like its lifespan can be measured in nations.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like my friend went to college with someone who was making a game platform for
distribution
congregation of games.
Oh, okay.
Similar to Steam, to combat Steam. I was like, you're in college in England. Give it up. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Steam, and this is the most impressive part, right? Steam looks like shit, and it still does that well. It looks like arse. Like, have you ever wondered, I wish Steam looked better, because I have.
Oh yeah. You can change it. I've seen a lot of people use.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what they use though. What do they use?
You can use skins. You can download different skins.
Is it difficult to?
No, I've got one myself. Still looks like shit though, because it's designed so poorly. But
there's so many things that is missing, but they are monopolizing, so you can't do anything about it. Not now, anyways. So yeah, next piece of news, which is surprising it took this long, I guess. Blizzard is shutting down the old vanilla WoW servers.
There's
Nostalrius.
It was a fan run server.
Yeah. Basically, it was actually a big story within the community. So there's one server in particular that was really popular. There's still thousands of people playing on this vanilla WoW server, and Blizzard have taken legal action against it because they basically didn't want to take the server down. I don't know why they want to take all the servers down. I don't see what the problem is.
Free publicity.
You don't get.
I don't know.
Say again, you don't see why they want to bring it down?
Because the people playing that server aren't paying Blizzard money.
Yeah, they're not paying.
But they have to own World of Warcraft, no?
But you have to
probably.
Yeah, but WoW is a
most of the money is
in
a subscription.
I know. I guess I kind of get it. I thought you did
lost
have to,
money technically.
I thought you did have to. Oh no, of course you don't know. It's private servers.
Yeah, you don't have to pay. I tried it for a while.
I feel kind of bad because some of the servers are used because I don't think people do it maliciously. I don't think people say
no.
I'm gonna use this server because it's free. I think it's because it's vanilla and people like vanilla WoW better than what it is now.
In the Reddit thread about this piece of news, I saw somebody putting up a video of like the Blizzard developers for WoW. They were at a conference or something, and somebody asked a question like, would you ever consider putting up like legacy servers or something for like the vanilla WoW players? Then like, no. That he just straight up said no. And then a few seconds after that, he added like, you think you want vanilla WoW, but you actually don't. Yeah.
Vanilla.
What an arrogant jerk.
Yeah, some people just like vanilla WoW. I didn't play vanilla, so I don't know. But I know there are huge communities out there that only play vanilla WoW. So like I said, I don't think these people are doing it maliciously to get out of paying subscriptions. I bet a lot of them do actually still pay subscriptions. I bet there are people playing on servers that play subscription. But I think they just want to play vanilla WoW because they think vanilla WoW's better.
Yeah.
No.
So this server called Nostalrius is a group started up last year by a band of around 30 fans and had about 800,000 registered users and 150,000 active players.
Huge
at the
for a
time.
fan thing.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Their servers were running World of Warcraft version 1.12 just before the release
That's
of
not
2006
true, vanilla.
Burning Crusade. Just before the release. I guess it's the latest update before the first expansion, I guess.
I see.
What is there to do anymore, though?
Even in current WoW or in vanilla WoW?
No, in vanilla WoW. If you play on a vanilla WoW server, what do you do anymore?
Maybe PvP. Maybe you raid. I don't know.
No, but the raids have got to get stale now. Jesus.
Well, they had to start. They've been going at it less than a year, so I don't know.
No, but some of the servers have been up for years.
I don't know.
So what would you do?
Roleplay.
Well, they're all
Level all the
roleplay
characters.
servers, aren't
Raid
they?
with all the characters.
They're all roleplay servers on WoW, aren't they? They're all
Yes,
specific
RP servers.
roleplay servers.
Yep.
They're creepy from what I've heard.
That doesn't surprise me.
Like, they get a bit too into it on that server.
For some reason, that just reminded me of a news story I was reading. This is not video game related, but here in America, like yesterday, there was like in 3 or so different places, a radio frequency was hacked. And instead of broadcasting whatever it was supposed to be broadcasting for 2 hours, it was broadcasting a podcast about furry sex.
Who?
Just some random radio stations like in Colorado. Like it wasn't the podcasters. Like some hacker guy had compromised their audio streaming boxes, and he pointed them at a website that hosted a serious fan podcast that explicitly in great detail talks about furry sex.
That is the best thing I've ever heard.
I just like it harkens back to old hackery where you don't do it for money, you just do it for the prank.
Yeah.
It's that's grey hat hacking, I believe.
Is that what they're called? Okay.
Kind of.
Is it grey hat?
Well, white hat
I mean,
is...
it's technically black hat, but
I guess it's still kind of black hatish, right?
Yeah, but no,
it's
black
illegal,
hat.
so.
Black hat is not just defined as illegal; it's defined as hacking done for personal gain, which is not what that would be.
For laughs or personal gain? I don't know.
Usually, black
Maybe
hat
he wants to
It
get
is
more
great.
furry sex. I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, it is actually kind of white hat in the sense that it doesn't cause. Well, maybe it's some
damage.
It doesn't cause maximum damage while still drawing attention to the vulnerability.
No, but white hat is a
Maximum
hacker.
damage.
A white hat is a hacker who was hired purely for the purpose of fixing.
Finding
right,
finding and
something.
fixing.
Ideally, I mean, there
So,
are people
yeah.
who I consider white hat hackers who do it without the.
I think
that Steam thing last week, but the guy getting that paint dry simulator up on Steam.
Yeah,
That guy's a white hat.
I think the reason that's defined as grey hat is because it's illegal, but they don't
Right.
do it for
Maliciously?
personal gain.
Yeah.
Sure.
They just do it.
I mean,
malicious
they might.
about it.
It's hard to tell in this situation. Did he just do it for the laughs, or did he do it to point out a flaw in audio streaming boxes?
Still a funny story.
I laughed pretty hard because like the interview had like a little paragraph for like the podcast guys and like, yeah, we noticed a lot of traffic coming from these weird devices like earlier in the week. So random.
Oh, so yeah, do you know if you were saying, so basically a grey hat hacker exploits a security weakness in the computer system in order to bring the weaknesses to the attention of the owners. So basically, they're doing it to show
Without
that
being
there's a
asked.
problem.
Yeah. I guess
essentially.
White Hat also finds a solution to fix it.
No, but they're
they're
hired usually.
But they're hired.
Yeah, hired.
Like so,
they're hired
usually
to-
you know, like you tell the gray hat person you don't know is coming at you. The white hat person, you theoretically.
So the term white hat is an internet slang refers to the ethical computer hacker. So he basically, he usually works as a security expert and stuff like that. So basically, the government will hire white hat hackers to hack their stuff before pointing out to the public.
I only know Kevin Mitnick, nobody else. That's all I know. I guess he's
definitely the
popular.
most famous one.
Yeah.
He started out black hat. He's white. He's currently a white hat.
Is
He
the
served like
guy,
5 years in prison.
Is he the guy who hacked into the Pentagon? Who's that guy? Who's that guy who hacked into the Pentagon and then they hired him? They offered him either jail or to work for the government, essentially.
That might just be a story.
I can remember it vividly There was a guy who
Okay.
he said he was searching for signs of extraterrestrial activity within the Pentagon service.
That was not Kevin Mitnick.
All right. Now, apparently this dude hacked into the Pentagon to search for files about Area 51 and stuff because he was a fanatic who really liked alien shit. So I think they hired him in the end, the government, because he was a really good hacker. I think so.
Sure.
That part might be a lie.
That is kind of the best way to get a job, because the government has a hard time recruiting hackers to fight the Chinese here, so
Well,
just
cyber
get caught doing something else.
the cyber wars are pretty brutal, especially because no one wants to work for the government. Hackers don't usually want to work for the government.
Also, a lot of hackers probably can't pass government drug tests.
Probably not. Yeah.
Or
What do they
dress
use
codes.
to stay up? What do they use to stay up?
I don't know. I mean,
Is it the
this
same
isn't
stuff
used to
that, like,
stay up, but they like marijuana at the least.
Isn't there like a previous pro gamer esports thing that was talking about drugs or something? They were using a specific drug.
Yeah. I think I remember that. I don't remember what it
I
was.
can't remember what it was.
I believe the drug was it's actually
Speedball.
prescribed to people with like twitching problems
ADHD
or something.
I think
Oh, like
ADHD.
Ritalin?
I guess.
Is I think it was prescribed to people with ADHD to heighten concentration. Stuff.
Could have been Ritalin.
No, not really. I think it might have been Ritalin, but I don't think it was Ritalin.
Something Ritalin-esque.
I think it began with an A. But basically it was to you heighten concentration and stuff.
Yeah. So I guess one more news, which I guess would be the biggest one maybe. So
The big one.
the big one. So Baldur's Gate, it got a new expansion. Let me just double check which Baldur's Gate. I'm guessing Baldur's Gate 2? It's called Siege of Dragonspear. And I should have done this earlier. Really. Oh, is it for
How
Baldur's
old
Gate?
is this game?
Baldur's Gate? Like mid-90s?
It's an old one, right? The 90s one. Okay. Making sure I'm thinking
Mid-90s,
of the
late
right thing.
90s maybe? Yeah, it's for the first Baldur's Gate, the Enhanced Edition. So
Remember
it's a
getting
new
it for Christmas.
expansion that was just released like on 1st of April, I guess. And so there's a social justice controversy with the new expansion. So the controversy is basically there are a lot of like minorities in the game. So like I believe there's a transsexual. I think there's also a gay person. So there's a lot of LGBT stuff, and I'm guessing also some racial stuff. So gamers didn't like it, not because they're racist or anything, but because it was very forced.
Sure.
Like characters were just like, "Hey, hello, you're here for the
I'm
quest."
gay.
Oh, but I'm gay. By the way, I'm gay. Gay. That's obviously not the way it was written, but
An exaggeration, yeah.
yeah, exaggeration. But I'm guessing it was close. So the lead writer of the game, I can't remember what's her name. She basically said, "I will do it again because we need minorities to be included in the video games." Blah blah blah.
Because
But
I
it was
couldn't
so
get hired
forced.
to write for
But the
anything
g-
else.
But the gamers are basically saying, "It's not that. It's so forced. It's really bad writing." Basically.
Right. Just because it has gay agenda doesn't make it good.
Yeah. And
Pretty
It can
much.
still be Drek.
even one of the transgender character, which I believe is a very well-loved character, has a line saying, actually it's about ethics in heroic adventuring, which is referencing the ethics in like video game journalism or something. I don't know. So a lot of people are pissed because it was just so forced, and Baldur's Gate is known to be a very well-written game. It's an RPG, yeah.
It's the same problem that... Do you know when we were talking about Ghostbusters, the female Ghostbusters?
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
that's the same reason people didn't like that. It's because
Yeah.
it felt forced. It
It
felt
felt like
they
it
were
was
trying
the
to-
only reason to go and watch it, almost.
Yeah, like it was the only defining factor.
Yeah.
The fact that,
That's the first impression, certainly.
Because I don't mind. Obviously, I'm not a dickhead, so I don't mind there being transgender people in the game.
Or
But I don't
LGBT,
want it shoved in my face. This guy's transgender. Did you know? Did you know this guy's transgender? He's over here. He's not man, but
That's like when somebody's one-line bio on Twitter. It's like I'm X years old and gay. It's like that's your defining character features, your sexuality. Like that's all you have going for you.
Do you know what I should do?
What are your interests?
I should go on Twitter and just go 23. I'm straight.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know
I'm so proud of you, honey.
Do you know what's funny thing though? The funny thing is, if I did that, right? Let's say I was a person in the public, right? And I went on Twitter and said, just put I'm straight. There'd be so much backlash. They'd be like, you can't put that. But if then someone equal, like in level to me, put I'm gay, people would be like, yeah, you go. Yeah. Yeah.
The first 2 words on my Twitter bio is godless penis. Referencing, I'm a male and I'm also an atheist. Right. So yeah, I don't like I would love to have like a variety of characters, but I don't want to be like rescuing prisoners and then all the prisoners were shouting, we're gay, banging on the freaking shit.
Well, in that's why, do you know Life is Strange?
Mm-hmm.
There's an option to be a lesbian in that game, and it wasn't forced. You just had the option to kiss a girl, and if you did, they didn't go on about it. It just happened.
I like it when it's subtle and not shoved in your face.
Yeah, like in Dreamfall chapters, for example, there are lesbian characters. There's 2 lesbian teenagers, and the only way you find out is that they kiss each other before they say goodbye to each other.
Life is Strange did it very well.
That's what I was just saying, dude. Come on, keep up.
Didn't you say?
Shar.
You said Dreamfall chapters.
Just before.
He said Life is Strange.
Oh,
and then
before
he
that.
said,
Oh, right.
He said,
keep up, Shar. Jesus, these guys. Hey,
so the one thing I did wrong with this story was I read it from Kotaku.
Oh.
So the writing of the article is biased towards you know who.
So do you know?
And they have screenshots of like Steam reviews.
Looking this
And
up.
before the screenshots, he gave a warning: trans insensitive language ahead.
you might get triggered.
Not really.
The funny thing is, I've talked about it before. Fitz this away. So he did a Tomb Raider review, and he was referencing something that was said in Kotaku. So the new Tomb Raider had that stuff about rape and all the animals attacking her, right? Yeah. And something was said, and then on Kotaku, and I quote, someone was calling for genocide against the animal fuckers. Only on Kotaku can you find someone who would write those words in that order, right? Fucking.
It's funny you should mention that, because at the top of Kotaku right now is a link to an article about Hyperlight Drifter as told by Steam reviews, and the little caption is, quote, "This is a pretty cool game. This is pretty cool, but it might be a furry game?" Because all the characters are rabbits. They're like rabbit people. So it might be a furry game. Hard to tell.
Only they can make that leap. Like, unbelievable.
And this is the reason why I hate shit like this being shoved in your face. When people don't like it, you're automatically against LGBT. No, it's just bad writing. What the fuck?
Like, I don't mind people who do that in a like a jokey way. I have gay friends, and when I say insensitive stuff to try and rib at them, they'll be like, "What's wrong with being gay?" I'm like, nothing. Like, I don't mind it within a certain sector. Joking about that kind of stuff, you know, is okay in certain situations. You know, making light of stuff like that. But it's in a public forum, you can't do it because you can't account for everyone. Like,
people, don't get your sense of humor.
Yeah, like it's okay between friends because, well, you're friends. So
like, I actually had a teacher. You guys know, A Modest Proposal. It's a document from like the 1800s, satire written by Was it Jonathan Swift? Basically, it's a paper written completely. It's a joke,
Jonathan
but it's
Swift.
written very very straight. Basically, the idea is we've got a problem with overpopulation, and you know what makes a hearty meal or can provide some great leather for a nice pair of ladies' gloves? Babies. Babies make, like, killing babies would solve overpopulation, it would solve hunger, it would, like, it goes on like this. And of course, people lost their shit. I had a teacher in high school who got in a lot of trouble because he wrote a similar story, completely joking. He got fed up with, like, walking down the hallways at school and just seeing all the people, like, with their tongues down each other's throats. So he wrote a paper saying how during lunch the school should provide a sex room. There's like mattresses on the floor, and the teacher just hands out condoms. That way all the people can, like, get out of the public eye and just do their own thing in this dark room. And, you know, parents are like, oh, I never. This is outrageous. Like, people just don't get satire all the time.
Like, it's similar to Joe Mitchell and Webb. David Mitchell.
Yes.
Right, they did a sketch where there's a big businessman, like he works for the government, and they're like, "Oh, we're having a real problem with the economics now." And he's like, "Have you tried killing all the poor people?" It's like, no.
Fuck,
like,
I think I just got brain cancer reading this Kotaku shit.
Probably.
Sorry.
But no, it was like, have you tried killing
people.
all the poor people? And they were like, no, that's horrible. He was like, yeah, but I'm just saying, have you tried it? Have you tried putting it into a simulation, see if it'll work? It's like, yeah, but we're not going to do that. He's like, I'm not saying we're going to do it. I just want to know if it'll work. And then they put it in, and it's like, oh, it won't work. Yeah, it wouldn't work, right?
Okay,
So it won't work. And then the woman, who's not David Mitchell Webb, was saying,
right.
But it doesn't work, so it doesn't even matter. And then David Mitchell just goes, well, so that's the only reason why we're not doing it. You're saying if it did work, we would kill everyone. That's disgusting. It's brilliant. Yeah. It's exactly. You see, satire is beautiful, but I hate it when people don't get when something's satire.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, that's the sign of good satire, when people can't tell sometimes.
But like, so is Leafy's here good satire?
No, terrible. It's just harmful. I had a big debate about this with my friends in Discord.
Wait, debate about what?
Do you know, after the topic the other week about Leafy and H3H3, I was still angry when I got off the call. So I went into Discord and
were you masturbating furiously?
I was going mad in Discord, and I actually had a really good argument with a couple of my friends about it. They came to Leafy's defense in a weird way. No, but not in a flat, he wasn't his fault way. It was like
devil's advocate way.
They were like, but H3H3 does the exact same stuff. And I was trying to come up with a way to justify what H3H3 does. But what I really came out of it thinking was, yeah, he kind of does. Like,
maybe he does. I don't know. I have no idea who it is.
Basically, he does the same kind of stuff. He does it to people who, like, don't deserve it as such, but, like, do you know people who do? Do you know when people who
you're not as sympathetic for?
Yeah, he does it to he makes satire videos about DJ Khaled, because DJ Khaled knows he's a certain type of person. He plays on it. It's an act, right?
I see.
And they Patrice Wilson, do you know Friday by Rebecca Black?
I do.
Do you know the dude who made it? His name's Patrice Wilson.
Okay.
He made a string of other videos with teenagers.
It was his job, was making videos like that.
Chinese food and all that. And
Chinese food. Holy shit.
And he alluded to Patrice Wilson being a paedophile in one of his videos. I mean, the way he did it, though, it was funny, but I guess that is just as harmful. It's hard when thinking about it.
He did say, H3H3 did say in the video slamming Leafy is here that it's a bit hypocritical of him. He did say that. So I guess he's self-aware?
Maybe.
At least.
I mean, I just think that, I came out of the argument with my friends and I was like, yeah, maybe you're right, maybe. Oh, no. And I got confused. And, it's the worst. When you think you've got the grasp of an argument and you know what side you're on, and someone just comes and goes, no, something like that is completely wrong. Like,
yeah.
Brilliant. Nah. But, I don't know, it's so hard in, like, the internet sector to know what's right and what's wrong, especially when it comes to satire, which is really hard to do well on a large scale.
Right.
Because on TV, Mitchell and Webb is up.
I was thinking of signing up for a satire writing course. It's like $175 though, but it seems really cool.
Like, because like Mitchell and Webb, for example, is obviously satire. A lot of his satire. A lot of British comedy itself is satire. Especially the panel shows like Mock the Week and stuff. It's all satire. But you know, on the internet, where anyone can view it, it's hard to make good satire because it's hard to know how certain people react.
And also like the source isn't always conveyed with the message. Like there's I can't remember what I was watching. I think it's just a compilation of people who were exposed to Onion articles without realizing that they were Onion articles and thinking they were real articles.
All right, okay.
You know, the Onion's famous fake news headline website.
Yeah. Oh.
So, I don't know. It's hard. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Just because people might... I don't know.
It's just harder because the internet is a bit different from TV. On TV, you can hear about it from other people and you know it's satire. But with the internet, there's none of that. You just kind of have to go on it, and if you don't get it, then that... You know, it's hard to judge how people will react to it if they don't get that it's satire.
Totally.
Yeah. Especially with the amount of fucking stupid people on the internet. Jesus Christ. There's a whole lot of those flying about.
Stupid and loud.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of smart people on the internet who do get
But they're quiet.
Yeah. It's always the vocal minority that trumps the voiceless
Well, it's because of that principle, right? Where you're dumb, you don't know, you're incapable of knowing how dumb you are.
Fucking, but the outspoken minority that, you know, will always be the voiceless majority who keep to themselves. Yeah. Yeah, well. Shit happens, mate. Any more news articles? Sure.
Oh, one interesting one, I guess, would be Rock Band 4 for the PC. So, do you guys remember? We mentioned this like a few episodes ago. Or at least a month ago, maybe.
I can remember talking about Rock Band and...
I remember talking about Rock Band 4. I don't remember talking about the PC.
So, if you don't remember, I'll just refresh your memory. So, Rock Band 4, they wanted to port Rock Band 4 for the PC. But before they do that, they were basically saying, can you guys give us the money to do that first? They were having a campaign on Fig.co. And it failed. It reached It reached $792,000. They were asking for 1.5 million. So I'm not surprised, I guess, because a lot of people were probably pissed. Like, what the fuck? You guys are selling this game already on consoles. You should have the money to just do a freaking port. And you have this game on Xbox One, which is pretty much an x86 architecture with a PC. So a lot of people were pissed. And it also, I believe, it also shows like the game wasn't as good as it used to be. That's why probably people didn't really supported it. But one statement by the Rock Band 4 developers probably pissed me off the most. This shows that there is no demand for Rock Band 4 on PC. That's what they said. Yeah, not really, bro. Bro.
I think it is indicative of it. I don't know.
Really, I don't think so.
I think
a lot of people were saying, you give me the game and I'll buy it. We don't want to give you money to freaking do a port for it.
But the sales were not so good, if I remember right, for Rock Band 4 and Guitar Hero.
Probably the weakest one of all.
Because the problem was, when they introduced downloadable songs, there was no point in buying the next Guitar Hero or Rock Band.
Yeah, because every time you change, you have to re-buy the freaking songs, which is really dumb.
No, yeah, but that's what I mean. If Rock Band what was the new one? Rock Band 4? Rock Band 5? Whatever. The late... Rock Band 3. Rock Band 3 had downloadable songs, right? You could download songs off the internet, right? Yep. So if you introduce that into Rock Band 3, there's no point in buying Rock Band 4 because you can always play any song you like on Rock Band 3. So what's the point in buying? Because the whole point of the Rock Bands and Guitar Heroes, you bought it for the set list. You didn't buy it, you bought new ones for the set list anyway, right? You bought the new ones to play the new songs. But if you could play any song you like anyway, then what's the point in releasing a new one? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just kind of defeats the purpose. At least Guitar Hero...
the purpose for this, technically, is this is the first one for the current-gen consoles. Every previous one has been for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360.
I mean, it still doesn't really matter. You're not Rock Band, the graphics don't matter.
It depends, right? If you move on from your PS3 to your PS4, you might want a new Rock Band. You might not have your PS3 anymore or something. Yeah,
but it's a lot to like. I mean,
it's freaking expensive.
In that small niche, I guess it'd work. But I can't imagine there's a lot of people that would have that problem.
Rock Band is a pretty niche kind of game, anyways. So
it didn't used to be when Rock Band when Guitar Hero was massive when it first came out. I even played Guitar Hero for years, up until I got bored of it. But I just don't see the point in releasing a new one anymore because you can already play any song you like. So what's the point in buying the new one? At least Guitar Hero, the new Guitar Hero had the new 2 riff system, right? The black and the white.
No idea.
Have you seen it? Well, the new Guitar Hero, they usually have 5 colours.
Yeah.
Well, you had the way it worked is you had 2 frets, so you had 2 strings with multiple colours on each, so it became harder.
Oh, interesting.
So it actually had a new mechanic. So there was a point to buying the new Guitar Hero. There was no point in buying the new Rock Band because it's the same as it's always been. The new Guitar Hero was 5, right?
I think he said 4.
No, that was Rock Band. That's Rock Band. The new
Guitar Hero, yeah.
Guitar Hero.
Latest one, Guitar Hero Live, right? That's the newest
Guitar
one.
Hero Live. So Guitar Hero Live, the way it worked was, it follows similar gameplay to the previous installments, requiring players to use the guitar, blah 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 blah. In contrast to the previous 5-button design, the Guitar Hero Live controller featured 6 buttons arranged in 2 rows of 3, instead of just 5 in a row. So it actually was more indicative of an actual guitar than previously was. Still not nearly as close to what an actual guitar's like. But
I think the closest is what, Rocksmith, right? There's a game called Rocksmith that you actually can attach.
Play it with a real guitar.
Yeah, plug in a real guitar and play. A lot of people say they learn to play guitar playing that game, which is pretty cool.
Imagine,
Yeah.
I'm not too bothered about a PC port. I don't know. I mean, I guess this.
No, I'm just pissed that they said that. That's all.
Yeah, but it doesn't surprise me anymore what these companies will say.
But one thing about the situation here that I think a lot of people mistake is they're saying, why do you need funding? You're a big company, you're blah 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 AAA, but they're technically not AAA anymore. They're no longer with a publisher, so they're technically indie. And I'm guessing with like past game sales that are not as good as like their first game, they probably just can't fund it themselves anymore.
Yeah.
Well, then don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's why they asked money and they failed.
There's a difference between asking to fund a game and then asking to fund a port. They're 2 vastly different things. Because it's true, if you can make the original game, ports don't cost that much, especially if you're already running on an Xbox One architecture. It's not that hard to port it to PC. Although they still get it fucking wrong every time. I don't know how.
The latest one is Quantum Break. It seems the PC port is pretty shit.
How? It runs on the same architectures. It runs on Windows 10.
No idea.
Stupid.
It's pretty bad.
Oh god, stupid. Makes no sense to me. Yeah, whatever. I decide not to get irate about these things anymore. Doesn't surprise me. Just let them be stupid. Easier that way.
I'm not sure if this is not news, but I think it's a very interesting thing. It's a post on the game dev subreddit, and the post is titled "How My April Fool's Joke Backfired." So he has a game called Mutilate a Doll 2, which is a sandbox physics game, and you basically mutilate a faceless and featureless ragdoll. So it's like a fun physics game.
Oh, okay.
The game averages about 30,000 plays a day on Congregate, which is pretty good, right? I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's respectable.
So what he did for the April Fools is he put a buff doll. I think he called it buff doll or something. A doll that can't be hurt and shit. So if you try to like poke it with your weapons, the buff doll will actually grab the weapons and shit like that. So everybody liked it so much that everybody's harassing him like, put it back, we want buff doll back, which is pretty funny. I think it's pretty cool.
That reminds me, years ago when Hunger Games had just come out, I played a game that was a April Fool's prank, I think. Basically, it's like Hunger Games the game, and it's kind of like Don't Starve controls, like third person, you can click and move, and so it drops you all around that cornucopia of weapons, and no matter what you do, no matter how you run, no matter where you are, within a few seconds of the game starting, one of the other characters will reach the middle of the cornucopia and just throw a shuriken that'll just travel to wherever you are and kill you. And it was so funny reading the comments from people who didn't get it. They're just like, I can't get past the first few seconds of this game. Like, this is utter rubbish. They're so mad, and they so can't spell, and it was so funny.
But I like it when like April Fool stuff actually is actually good, and
tricks
people
people
like,
who aren't me.
Well, it's like Earth mode. Earth mode in League of Legends was an
Yeah.
April Fool's thing. Have you seen the new game mode thing they've just put in?
No,
I think I've talked about it before. The rotating game modes.
I remember about that. Yes.
Yeah, every weekend they've just put it in. They've just implemented it. This weekend is Ascension.
What's the Ascension? What is that?
That was one that when Azir was brought into the game. It's like a capture the points kind of.
Okay.
And then you can go to the middle and kill a sentinel, and if you kill it, you become huge and powerful. It's a bit weird, and you get points for your team by capturing points. It's okay. It's not the best one, but whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, and Earth mode is gonna be in the rotation, so now we'll get it more than one time a year. So, thank fuck for that. Because obviously, I don't want it to be permanently in the game because then it'll lose its spice. You know?
I guess.
But having it 2 or 3 times a year, I'm totally okay with that. Because Earth mode's the best thing to come out of League of Legends ever. It's incredible. It's so fun. Have you played it, Shar?
No. Never tried League of Legends at all.
Well, Earth mode basically...
But I played a similar mode in Dota 1 in a custom game.
Alright.
Like, there's no cooldown, no mana usage, anything at all, right?
There's 80% cooldown reduction.
80% cooldown.
No mana. Yeah, I think that's about the size of it. Even some of the
you remember the... I'm not sure Dota 2. Does Dota 2 have Zeus?
Yeah. It has
Does he still have that stupid ulti?
What, the one that attacks everyone at once?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing that mode, and everybody just chose Zeus and then just kept spamming. It's really dumb.
That's what happened on All for One.
So we banned Zeus.
So on All for One on LoL, everyone picked one character, and everyone on that team played the same character. So you'd play Karthus, and when you get to level 6, you'd all ulti and do 4,000 damage to everyone on the map and kill them. So they had to ban it.
And then if they were Karthus, they returned it.
They had to. It broke the game. It literally broke the game. If all 10 people did the role at the same time, it literally broke the game. But yeah, so they had to ban Karthus, unfortunately. But you know. But yeah, I like the mod system. It's really cool. Especially now we're gonna get it adds a bit more flavour to it now. So if you get a bit bored of ranked, now you have something to fall back on. You can always play a new game mode, which is cool. I've always thought that should be it. Do you know people who get banned for like trash talking and stuff? Like
you told me this, yeah.
They should make you should make people play Earth. Make them play Earth 3 games of Earth, right? They will calm the fuck down after that because Earth is fun as hell.
Or they'll grow to hate Earth.
Maybe.
Or impossible. It's
Doombots,
like a Clockwork Orange.
Doombots was my favourite. mod as of yet.
Earth's the only one I've played, I think.
Doombots was essentially you played against bots, so it was 5 people against bots, but all the bots had ridiculous powers. Like Lux, do you know when she does her ulti and it's the big beam of light? She does it in every direction.
Oh, cool.
And like you'd go into the other bushes, the little bushes where you can hide. You go into the bushes and sometimes a random Garen would appear and spin on your head, even though there wasn't a Garen in the game.
Speaking of Garen, I saw a great picture from a security camera today. I don't know where in the world this was, but there was a Garen statue, and this random old lady was walking by, and she kneeled and started praying before it, because she thought it was like a religious statue or something. I don't know. Or maybe she knew exactly what she was doing.
The best thing is when certain characters have skills that the actual characters don't have. Like some characters, so you'll be playing against a Morgana, and the Morgana would have like Evelyn invisibility, so just go invisible all of a sudden.
That's interesting.
It was crazy fun. If Annie used, Annie, the little one with the bear.
Yeah.
If she used her bear is like 50 foot tall. Like it's crazy. It's mental. It's brilliant.
Blot out the sun.
I wish they'd bring that. I think they're bringing that's in the rotation as well, so that'd be cool.
Probably. Cool.
But that's an April Fool's thing that I really like. Doombots was a really cool April Fool's thing. Yeah.
Sounds like it.
So yeah, we reached the end, and let us know what you are looking forward to.
Overwatch.
What are you gonna do?
Oh, Overwatch so much.
When is that coming out?
You can pre-order it and you get the open beta on the 2nd of May. And then Dark Souls comes out Monday midnight for me. So I'm excited for that. They're the 2 big things, the massive things. Overwatch will take over my life probably for the foreseeable future when I get that. So that'd be cool. What about you, Phil?
Yeah, definitely Dark Souls. 2 movies came out today that I'm kind of interested in.
Hardcore Harry?
One is Hardcore Harry, and the other one's the Melissa McCarthy movie.
Hardcore Harry's the first-person one, right?
It is. I'm very curious. I don't know how optimistic I am. I'm fairly optimistic.
Sounds cool.
But I'm really curious more than anything else. So yeah, there's a decent chance I'll get to see that this weekend. But also the Melissa McCarthy one looks pretty good too.
What is that called?
Something Boss? Big Boss? New Boss?
Oh. Is it like a spin-off or something from the Jennifer Aniston one?
I don't know what that one is.
Horrible Bosses or something?
No, it's not.
Oh. There's a Tina Fey and Amy Poehler movie, right?
A new one?
Sisters.
Oh, that's old. It's like a few months old.
It's only coming out like now over here.
Okay.
I'm guessing there's a lot of like sexual innuendos and shit and cursing in that movie. Does it?
Not more than most comedies I see.
No, because we like to censor shit here over here. So
John Cena has a really good cameo in it.
Nice.
In that train wreck?
In Sisters.
I thought he was in Trainwreck with it. Oh, that's Amy Schumer.
Yes, he was also in Trainwreck with Amy Schumer.
He had sex with her.
Funny.
What cameo does he have in? Apparently, I'm not going to say.
He ad-libbed.
What about his cameo in Sisters?
He's like a drug salesman.
Oh, right. I really like John Cena. I really do like John Cena. He gets a lot of fucking hammer within the WWE. People hate him, but he's actually a really cool dude because he's the good guy in here, and people don't like good guys. He's there. He's happy to be there, even if he loses. He's there to fight for you, and people don't like that. They see past it; it's fake. But he actually seems like a genuinely nice guy.
I agree.
Have you seen the stuff he's done for Make-A-Wish?
No.
He's broken the record.
Was it him? Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. He has the record for the most wishes granted.
He's served over 400 wishes.
Just to meet the guy or something?
Yeah, just going to kids. Just going to kids and meeting kids. Nice. 400 wishes. That's mental. That's crazy. Like, I don't care what. No one can be a dick and do that. No one. It's incredible. So yeah.
Nice.
Got mad respect for him.
And his wife is athletic as well, or something, right? I know
Nikki,
there's like
she's a wrestler.
Oh, she's
Nikki
a wrestler.
Bella. Nikki
Oh,
Bella,
right.
yeah.
Think there are like YouTube videos of them like trying to outdo each other or something.
Oh no, that was on a TV show called Total Divas.
Oh, right.
WWE have their own show. Like it's like a soap, not a soap opera. It's like a reality show called Total Divas.
They have like
And,
their own network and so many different TV shows.
yeah.
and
They've
stuff,
got a
right?
new cartoon coming out that actually seems genuinely funny.
Stone Cold Steve Austin has his own podcast, I believe.
Yeah, that's a great podcast as well. I really like the Stone Cold podcast. But no, basically in Total Divas, him and Nikki Bella have a competition with each other, and John wins every single competition, and just gloats in her face, and she gets really angry at him, and he's just there like, she just walks off really angry. Like he comes in, they're playing table tennis or ping pong together, and he comes in like with like a basketball jersey on with a hoodie, and he's like, yeah bro, let's do this. Kane's his girlfriend. I think they're playing beer pong actually. Anyone should go and watch that. It's hilarious. He's just completely being obnoxious to his girlfriend. It's hilarious. Oh, brilliant.
Right. I'm looking forward to playing more Mad Max, playing more MGS5, playing more Divinity. I wanna start watching Jessica Jones. I finished like the first episode. That one seems like gonna be a good one.
Oh, that reminds me. I've been watching a couple of new animes.
Is it good?
I like Assassination Classroom is one of them.
Is it a bunch of kids trying to kill each other?
No.
School?
No, there's basically the premise is their teacher is like a superhuman. It's like an octopus with yellow skin. It's weird. It's Japan, but basically their teacher is said to have destroyed the moon, and he will do the same to the Earth in a year's time. So the government task a classroom full of children to kill their teacher.
Sounds like a comedy.
Yeah, it is. It's funny.
I like that premise.
It's brilliant. You should watch it. Like, it's hilarious because he's super fast. He's got superhuman speed.
It's Assassination Classroom or Classroom Assassination?
Assassination Classroom. He can move.
When I type out assassination, the first thing that came out was Classroom. Must be pretty popular then.
Basically, the teacher can move at Mach 20, so he's really fast. So there's just like scenes where they're walking down the street and all the kids are trying to stab him, and he's just like dodging all of them. Like just walking and talking to them, like he's just.
Wait, so why is he teaching a classroom?
I won't. That'll be spoilers.
They do explain it. Okay, I was like, he's clearly like.
Is it
he destroyed a planet. He's gonna do the other one. Like, why is he wasting his time?
That's the thing. Don't assume anything. It's really.
Is it a series, or is it a movie series?
It's a manga and an anime. Basically, it's not what it seems. Like.
Is it all out or is it ongoing?
I think the
holy shit! There's a live action one.
I mean, for the anime.
It's a live action one.
Yeah.
No.
Came out last year.
What?
Looks exactly. There's some creepy looking octopus guy, man. Live action.
Yeah. I didn't know there was live
like
action.
He's smiling all the time.
I don't usually go for live action anime.
Basically, the teacher is a genuinely likable character. He's a teacher, right? But he's a really good teacher. He actually does his best to get the kids to learn. And so he does this thing where he moves so fast he leaves after images. So he runs around the classroom leaving after images with all the kids, and he teaches all the kids individually at the same time, simultaneously. And the new another anime I've been watching is My Hero Academia. That's a new one.
It's the opposite.
That's a new one that's come out. Basically, it's about people get quirks. They're called quirks, superpowers essentially. And then it's set in a world where 80% of the human race, or 90% of the human race, all have superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about this kid who doesn't have superpowers. It's really, really weird, but really, really cool. The first episode came out last week. So that's cool. You were getting excited about something, Phil? Sorry.
It reminded me of like this. I can't remember. I was listening to these two guys talk. I don't know if they were talking about a comic book that actually got published, or if it was an interview with a comic book writer, but they were talking about this idea of the Flash, where the Flash lives in Central City. And in this world they were talking about, nobody knows the Flash exists. All they know is that for some reason, Central City, nothing bad ever happens.
Alright.
And it's because in this universe, the Flash just never stops running.
Interesting.
It's just nobody ever sees him, but like bad stuff just doesn't happen to happen, and like nobody knows why. It's just like this vaguely pinkish tinge to the city, and like it's a perfectly utopic life. I don't know. It's a really cool concept.
Oh.
I think the thought process is, what if every hero was like at their maximum potential?
Yeah, be interesting. But
I'm also looking forward to watching. There's a new DC animated movie that I have. What is it called? Let me look at it real quick. It's about it's Justice League versus Teen Titans.
Ooh, that does sound pretty good.
I did like Teen Titans.
Oh yeah, I love Teen Titans. Raven was my favorite.
You guys ever watch Teen Titans Go?
No.
Don't watch it. Don't watch it.
Yeah, there's a reason I haven't watched it, because it's sort of horse shit.
Ooh,
there's been
it
one
came out
good
like
part.
3 weeks ago, so it's pretty new.
Okay.
Justice League versus Teen Titans.
I'll make a note of that as well.
I think it's about Damian Wayne leading the Teen Titans or something.
Of course.
So yeah. What else?
It's weird because only in Teen Titans is Cyborg a teen. Like everywhere else, Cyborg's like a man.
Yeah. So I'm also looking forward to maybe picking up No Man's Sky or Homefront. Either one. Probably No Man's Sky. I don't know.
Remind me what Homefront is?
It's a first-person shooter. It was a linear first-person shooter, the first game, and the second game is more like Far Cry 3 open world.
Okay.
So
depending
depending how good it is. So yes, that's all from me. So you guys do things on the internet. Do let the people know, what do you do on the internet?
Twitch.tv/Coddi12, and that's pretty much. I'm pretty much at Coddi12 everywhere. Twitter, Facebook. What about you, Phil?
I'm on YouTube, where you can find the most insightful and witty video game commentary on the internet.
Yeah, I featured.
It's our rockstar. What?
I was featuring that week, so that's why.
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, so youtube.com/c/Foehamner. And then if you want to stay up to date with, like, if for some reason, like, a video didn't go up and you want to know why, check out Twitter. Same
Dark Souls
Foehamner,
3.
so yeah. What? /what?
Is it Dark Souls 3? Is it?
No, content is well prepared for Dark Souls 3.
Nice.
I will not be recording next week, but content will still be coming out. I actually may take breaks to record.
Will you at least take breaks
games.
to eat?
No. You mental?
Just eat in front of
I'll get sluggish. If I eat, I'll get sluggish.
Eat during a boss fight. Like,
no, then you'll die.
just add a challenge. Like playing it blindfolded. So I'm Pupunoob on Twitter and YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. I'm very annoying and very mean on Twitter. My YouTube game has been sluggish of late. So yeah. So you've been listening to the playonultra podcast, episode 44. Do like, subscribe, comment, review. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening and watching. Bye bye.